Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. It's 2 games to go for Manchester United and it's a trip to Brighton. Sunny UK, get the rock out, get your sun cream on and walk the pier because it's Manchester United's visit to Brighton. Look, is there a lot on it? Wolves are losing to Chelsea, so that's them out of any potential race to get top four. Not top four, to overtake us. But West Ham still are potentially an issue. They're 6 points behind us with 3 games to go. If they were to win 3 or win 2 and draw 1 and we lose our last 2, they'd go past us. So we still need a result. Team news is coming out thick and fast. And as we understand it, it is the same team that played against Brentford, which I agree with. So yes, it would be the team that's on the screen. David De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Tellez, Matic, McTominay, Bruno, Mata, Elanga, and Ronaldo. And I agree with that. I agree with that being the team for the game. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but ultimately, I don't care whether Harry Maguire's back. I don't care whether we've signed Lionel Messi. The team won. Pick the right team for the game, and I think he has. And I think I do agree with it. So, yeah, I don't know what everyone else's thoughts are. I think it's going to be a decent game to watch. I do, because I thought United played in a much happier and more flowing way. I think Juan Mata brought that freedom to the team. I think Bruno plays better with Mata, even though some would say Mata is basically taking Bruno's place. And Brighton are a very open team as well. So I don't think we'll see a boring game. I think we'll see a good game of football. And, you know, potentially with it being the end of the season, it could be, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be that, was it 5-5 between West Brom and Man United in Sir Alex's last game? But it might be more open. There might be more opportunities. So, look, I'm looking forward to it. It's a prelude to a big game, which is Spurs against Liverpool, which I'm doing on That's Football tonight at 7:45. Don't talk to me about why we've got 7:45 kickoffs on a Saturday night and no 12:30 game today, but I will be doing that. So it's a jam-packed early evening into the night. We've got Man United versus Brighton. I'll do my match reaction, and then I'm going to jump onto That's Football for Spurs visit to Anfield. So I hope if you're going to join me all the way through, great. It's that long. We should have done a bloody charity stream. But come on, United, up the mark, Goldbridge says. It's your boy, Cal. Thank you very much. He's been a member for 38 months, has Cal. What a legend he is. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely incredible. If you want to become a member, get your badge next to your name, click the join button. Remember, we've got exclusive video content for our members as well now. In fact, a new video went up yesterday. Deep dive into Ruben Neves. Not like that. Stats and, you know, what he's all about. So, yeah. Chelsea are beating Wolves, as I said. So that's not a bad result for us. The gaming says maybe that we're going to talk about Pogba in a minute. I just want to get this team news sorted, tell you about the bench, and then we will talk about Paul Pogba. The gaming says Fred over Scott. No, not for me. Not for me. I think that ultimately you go with the best team, and the best team is the team that won the game on Monday night. You know, if Fred comes into the team for McTominay, you can't moan if he picks Maguire over Lindelof. So I would stick with the same team. I do think McTominay's been poor the last couple of games, but stick with the winning team. I haven't got a problem with that. And ultimately, as I said, if we win today, West Ham will not be able to catch us unless they blitz their last 3 games, one of which would be Man City. So, no, I'm happy with it. We've picked the same team. I think it's the right team to go with. Garnacho is in the squad, according to United Stand. Twitter, at United Stand MUFC. Give us a follow, especially over the summer transfer window. But I can confirm to you the teams and the subs. I'm also very interested to see what team Brentford pick. Not Brentford, Brighton, because they've got some good players. Basuma watch as well. That's exciting. So, yes, the team is out. It is the team we expected. It is the team that started against Brentford. But the bench has Dean Henderson, Alvaro Fernandez, Phil Jones, Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Lingard, Cavani and Garnacho. Of course, Marcus Rashford isn't actually well. He's got bronchitis or something. So Maguire comes back onto the bench. Eric Bailly is not fit. And then Garnacho retains his place on the bench because Marcus Rashford is ill. But it's the same Manchester United 11 that beat Brentford 3-0. I will tell you the Brighton team as well while I've got you. So Brighton have got Sanchez, Cucurella, Dunk, Basuma, McAllister, Trossard, Gross, Welbeck, March, Casido and Veltman. Lamptey's on the bench for Brighton these days, which I find quite interesting. But Basuma and Casido, we know both of those. Basuma is a player that I think me and many other people in the chat would like to see Manchester United look at. And Casido was a player we were looking at. So interested to see how they do against us today. Welcome to the Members Club, Colin Grant. Mark, I can say thanks to all at the United Stand for all the great content. Also, let's sue today, says Kevin. And hey, Mark, in from Papua New Guinea. Love your content and love you. Please call me a prat, says Hamish. You're a prat, Hamish. Talking of prats, OMS says, eating your words about Rangers now, Mark. What words are these then? Oh, I know what this is all about. So basically, I watched Rangers against Celtic or something, and I just thought the standard of football was shit, really shit. And yeah, Rangers have done fantastic. But look, I don't know anybody whose opinion, and I don't know anybody whose opinion is flawless anyway. I live in the world. It's called Earth, where opinion is sometimes right, sometimes wrong, but it's opinion. God, I don't want to live in a world of robots. So, you know, I don't mind being wrong. Got no problem at all. Hey, Mark, all the way from South Africa, says RM Football. Remember to subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Manchester United are in for a massive summer. I was speaking to somebody this morning, actually, about transfers, and they just said, pretty close to Man United, and they said, we don't even know what we're doing at the moment, but not in a bad way. They were like, we don't know what we're doing at the moment. We're looking at players. Eric Ten Hag's got to come in and sort of guide us. He might go for different players. He might go for different positions. But what you can guarantee is that we're going to have a huge amount of outgoings and a huge amount of incomings. It's going to be hectic this summer. Make sure you subscribe to the United Stand, bottom right-hand corner, for all the updates and news. Looks like Burnley are going down, Mark. They're losing 3-0 to Villa, says Ross. I mean, I can't believe Burnley are home to Villa. They've done so well to get themselves in a position where they could stay up. And then they're getting battered. But, yeah, it's a weird one. Do you reckon Mabry is not on the bench because of what Rob Dawson said Charlie Kofi? Well, Rob Dawson said that Rangnick had fallen out with Mabry because of how he performed when he came on at Anfield. He didn't like the indiscipline, etc. I mean, there is a thing around Mabry. I've got to be honest. I've watched Mabry play a few times for the under-23s and the youth. He does get kicked a bit, and he is a bit reactory. So maybe Rangnick's just trying to calm that out of him, because you can't be indisciplined. You can be passionate, but you can't be indisciplined. Is there a way you would say you were wrong about Fellaini, says Robert McCormack? Never. And when I'm dead, if anyone carves it on my gravestone, I'll come back and haunt them. I wasn't wrong about Fellaini. Al J says, it's not said enough. Ralph has been the catalyst to the new Manchester United. Maguire not going right into the squad. Wreck it, Ralph, says Al J. Yeah, I certainly think in relation to the team, it is the same team that started against Brentford. We won 3-0, so it would be silly not to do that. But I do agree with what you're saying there. I mean, the previous manager would certainly have brought Harry Maguire straight back into this team, and there's absolutely no way that the previous manager would have allowed would have allowed Rashford to spend so much time on the bench. So there has been change, yes. Chris Walker, welcome to the Members Club. And finished watching your career mode, Mark. Never been more invested in a career mode. Oh, glad you're enjoying it, GB. Thank you very much. Garnacho should be given some game time today, says Gums. It's a shame we haven't got our final game of the season is not at Old Trafford, because I think Rangnick is desperate to give Garnacho some game time, but it's difficult to give him some game time because obviously we still need to win games of football. So yeah, I think that he will get some game time, but when, I don't know. Maybe on loan plus 50 million for Nkunku, says Rudy. Just found out my girlfriend is pregnant. Hopefully United wins, says Prodigy. Congratulations to you and your girlfriend. Presuming it's yours, which I think we're all presuming it is. In which case it's great news. And who won the Jaws fight, Mark? Says Robert. Oh, the Jaws watch-along was brilliant on Thursday night. I don't know whether anybody here watched it with me, but it was great. Did a film watch-along on Thursday night of Jaws. It was great. I wasn't as scared as I thought it was going to be, actually. Okay. Hi, Mark. Do you think Man United will sign a big player this summer? Well, are you talking about a big signing or somebody over 6 foot? We will. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, welcome to Members Club, RA. I'm not massively concerned about whether we're going to buy a superstar. I just want to buy the right players. That's what I want to do. Big shout out to Prodigy Fitness. It's on the screen. No Rashford, says Toki. Yeah, he's not very well. He's got illness. So yes. And I am doing Liverpool against Spurs straight after my match reaction today. So it's quick fire, yes. Hi Mark. It's if given a choice, what would you choose for United? Pep's footballing philosophy or Madrid's winning mentality? That's from Animish. Pep's footballing philosophy or Madrid's winning mentality? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the way Real Madrid play, so I'd take their winning mentality. I'm feeling 2-0 with Ronaldo and Garnacho. Thoughts, says Beery. I mean, I never really predict. I actually think it's going to be a draw. I actually think it's going to be a draw. I need to do a poll for you, actually, because we're going to talk about it in this minute, at the moment. I'm going to ask you a question, and the poll is in the chat. Are you bothered if Pogba goes to City? Yes or no? Just get in the chat for that. Really, really good. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Hannibal's still not been picked, says Odran. Mark, did you see the Birmingham protest today? Says Niall Fox. No, I didn't. And we need Tchouaméni to complete our spine, says Rudy. I didn't see any of the games at midday because I was saying to Drawty, my daughter plays football and I went to watch her play today. They were playing West Brom. And behind us, there was an amateur men's football match going on. And I haven't been able to go for a while because I normally do a 12:30 kickoff. Lovely sunny morning, watching amateur football. Both games were fantastic. Absolutely loved it. The men's game I was watching, I mean, look, there was only about, apart from the subs and the coaches, one man and his dog was watching, but it was a fantastic game. Some crunching tackles, some great saves. It was great. You can't beat a bit of amateur football. So I didn't catch any of the midday games. Would you do another movie watch along? Yes, I am, Ross. I am going to. Have you heard of the winger called Jota at Celtic? Looks like the top player, in my opinion, says user. No, there is a player at Celtic who's absolutely fantastic. I can't remember what his bloody name is. I think he scored 2 goals in the Old Firm a few months ago. I forget his name. I think he might be about 27. I can't remember what his bloody name is, but he looks really good. I think he'd be a very interesting player to bring to the Premier League. Sakir says, if Austria qualified for the World Cup, I don't think Ralph would have took the job. Then maybe he'd have more hours at United, says Sakir Hussain. Thank you very much. Okay. Abada, that was his name, was it? Yeah. No, it was Hatati. I can't remember. Let him go, City. No attachment to any of our players other than De Gea and Ronaldo. Roll on end of season. 2-1 win today, says Benla. And Pogba will weaken City's bench. He's not good enough, says Jack Brown. Well, we're going to talk. Let's talk about Paul Pogba, I suppose. Let's talk about this. I've asked the question in the poll, are you bothered if Pogba goes to City? 38% yes, 62% no. Now, if you go back a year ago, when Cristiano Ronaldo was linked to Manchester City and you did a poll on that, I mean, the betrayal was just absolutely huge, wasn't it? We felt absolutely betrayed by what by what Cristiano Ronaldo was going to do. I was genuinely concerned, appalled by the prospect of Cristiano Ronaldo going to Manchester City. Now, I saw it last night. I did a video on it this morning. Paul Pogba going to Manchester City. What are my thoughts on that? I'll be absolutely honest with you. I don't really care. I don't really care at all. My feeling is that maybe this is going to be a scenario whereby it's either being done to try, maybe it's a publicity stunt. Maybe we're all meant to go, no, don't go to Man City. And then he signs a contract with us and we go, yeah, up yours, City. It's not going to work. I would actually quite honestly say what I said this morning. I'd rather he went to Man City than signed a new contract with us. I'll take the risk that he might end up being good at Man City. And I like Pogba. I ain't got a problem with him. I know some people don't like him. I know people find him very irritating on and off the pitch. I like Pogba. But after 6 years, it's time to part ways in a nice way. And if he goes to Man City, obviously some people are going to get pissed off with that. But I would rather he went to Man City than sign a new contract with us. And I just really hope this is not a scenario where we are being played because they basically are trying to go, oh, look, we stopped him going to City. No. You stopped Harry Maguire going to City, apparently. You stopped Fred going to City, apparently. I'm not here for this one, I'm afraid. So, look, look, I'll be honest with you. I would rather Paul Pogba went to PSG or Juventus or Real Madrid, but I'm not massively engaged in going, oh, please don't go to City, Paul. I'll be gutted if you go to City, because if he goes to City and performs, then I just think, what have you been doing for 6 years with us? Iron says, you've seen a lot of amateur football this year, but they got paid for it. Talking about United, aren't you? Stefan, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. You'll see a badge next to your name, and make sure you check out our exclusive member content. And Nick P says, Pogba's done his time under our crappy regime. We destroy players anyway. Happy for him to go wherever he likes and salvage a few years of joy, says Nick P. Yeah, I just think United need to move on. He needs to move on. And I'm not that bothered. It's not even a toxic thing. I just do not mind if he goes to Manchester City. I'm not that bothered. I saw the story break last night, and I sort of wanted to think about it a bit in relation to, I don't want to put something out there and then, loads of people give me a load of shit for it. But I just thought, you know what? Sometimes you just got to be truthful. And truthfully, I don't know. I don't really care if he goes to Man City. And I had Man City fans getting in my replies going, oh, I can taste the tears from here. You genuinely can't. You're tasting thin air. I'm not bothered. One thing about me and the United fans is if we're bothered, well, I'd do a video on it. You know me. But if we're bothered, we'll say it. I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered if he goes to Man City. Yeah, Dorothy says you'll be making a Pogba video tomorrow. Yeah, I won't. I'm really not. Mark, isn't Pogba the same as Grealish? Keeps hold of the ball for too long. He should leave anyway. It's best to part ways, says Troy. Well, I think Man City, in fairness, probably are looking at him. I'm not going to... There's a few people going, oh, City don't even want him. I think they probably do, because Pep hasn't got Fernandinho next year. He wants to improve his team. He won't pay £100 million for Rice because it's a lot of money. He's going to get Haaland in. Haaland is a Raiola client. We know Raiola's passed away now, but maybe they're working with Raiola's people for Haaland, and they're going to do something with Raiola's people for Pogba. He's a free signing. Financially, it's not a bad move for Man City. And we've already seen Man City. They bought Grealish because he's popular. I mean, obviously they like him as a player, but he's also a shirt seller. He's a very popular person. He's got to deal with bloody Ralph Lauren, hasn't he? Or Poundland or something. I don't know. And Pogba's very popular as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are looking at Paul Pogba. What I would say to Paul Pogba is there's football fans out there that are not as calm as me and you are. There's football fans out there that are pretty hardcore, and they won't take kindly to a player going from Man United to Man City. They won't. So, if he's got the freedom to do what he wants to do, but also football is the reason there's so much money in football. The reason it's so passionate is because people care about it. And if you go from Man United after 6 years to Man City, there will be some kickback on that. And you can't expect everyone to go, don't worry about it. You go and enjoy yourself in the same city as our rival. We're being played by Man City. They'd never go with his profile. They're distracting us while they bring in Frankie de Jong, says Humphrey. I sort of agree with you, Humphrey. The big thing for me is that United don't go and give Pogba a stupid contract to stop him going to City, because I think they'd be genuinely pissed off people in our fan base if that happens. Marcus says, interesting opinion. Why would you not care? He should go to Real Madrid, PSG as a cop-out, and don't rate anyone who chooses them over other big clubs. I think genuinely I wouldn't want him to go to a rival, says Mark. I don't want him to go to Man City, but what I'm saying is I'd rather he goes to Man City than stay with us. I don't think there's any point in him staying with us. He's been booed by the fans. I just think it's time to part ways. And actually, I don't blame Pogba. I blame the club for allowing him his contract to run down. Do you think that Raf's time as interim manager has been better than Ollie's? Says Elliot. Yes, I do. I think Rangnick's done a much better job than Ollie. I just think you need to, think about it in more depth, because I think Ollie created a lot of the problems that Rangnick's had to deal with. What disappoints me is peak Paul Pogba, says Matty, right now would be a more important player than Ronaldo is right now. It would be good business by City, says Matty. Surely if Ten Hag likes Pogba, you'd rather him stay, says Lem. But it's not up to me, Lem. I can only give you my opinion. If Eric Ten Hag wants Paul Pogba to stay and build a team around him, let him stay. As I said last night, I'm not going to go against what what Eric Ten Hag wants, but personally, I think it's time to part ways. Harris says, you remember Mino offered him to City before the derby a couple of seasons ago. Mino's advice might have deeper impact on Pogba now he has passed, says Harris. I'm more disappointed, if I'm honest. It just shows the level of loyalty to the club, considering the time Pogba spent at United. But I'll get over it quickly, says Toga. And remember, Man City are on a different level to us. It's not like Paul Pogba's going to Man City to make them better like Tevez did. They're already better than us. So, it's not like Pogba's going to suddenly make Man City better than they are. They're already winning titles. They're already going deep into the Champions League. Thing is, though, mate, we slaughtered Tevez for going to City. And when Rooney had rumours for a City move, says Charlie Kevin. No, I think he will get slaughtered for going to City. Of course, the media will do it. The fan base will do it. But what I'm saying is, personally, I'm not begging United to keep him to stop him from going to City. That's what I'm saying. Okay, that's fair. If I had to choose between resigning and City, he should go to City, says Marcus Laird. But I do think there was a good point in there that this is, I don't like this for football. I do think football is changing. I do think football is becoming more commercial. I do think it's becoming more and more of a circus and a pantomime. And I certainly don't think that Paul Pogba going to Man City 10, 15, 20 years ago would be as acceptable as it is now. And I think it diminishes football a little bit, the rivalry and the passion you get with that. It shouldn't even be in Paul Pogba's mentality to think about going to Man City. The fact that he's even thinking about it just shows how little care there is for Man United, for some of these players. And if Pogba did go to Man City, or Bruno went to Man City, or any other player went to Man City, I'm sorry, anytime you've banged your hand against the badge or applauded the fan base or anything like that, it's meaningless. You are basically mercenaries, because we're not going to go and start supporting Man City. We're not going to say it's okay for you to go and play for Man City. Like, this is Manchester United and it should mean something. But unfortunately, the Glazers and Ed Woodward accumulated a set of players that basically aren't United people, don't give a shit about Man United, and are mercenaries. And I'm not saying Pogba is a mercenary. I like Pogba. I'm saying, but if he does go there, it's just another indicator of the greed and selfishness that exists in football today. Is Pogba a Man United legend, says Zion? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Jesse Lingard's not a Man United legend. Marcus Rashford's not a Man United legend. Bruno Fernandes is not a Man United legend. There is only one legend in that team today, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think David De Gea is a legend. I think he's a United great. I think he's done some great things for us, but I don't think he's a legend, because I think to be a legend, very few players end up being like Gerrard, where you're a legend and not winning a league title. But even Gerrard at Liverpool won the Champions League. Like, I think to be a United legend, you've got to win things. You've got to win big things. Or you've got to be Brian Robson, where you're so good in a team that's not good enough to win the title or the Champions League. You're a Roy of the Rovers sort of person. There is nobody in that team apart from Ronaldo for me. Thoughts on Michael Olise rumours to United, to Salah? I've read a little bit about it, Salah, from Crystal Palace. I don't really think there's anything in it at the moment. De Gea did win a league title. Yes, he did. De Gea would be the closest thing to a legend after Ronaldo for me, but I still don't think... It's difficult with De Gea, because I think David De Gea could have been Edwin van der Sar, winning Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. He's good enough to do it. The team in front of him has just not been good enough. So maybe De Gea is a legend, really. It's just unfortunate for De Gea that he's played the last 9 years in shitty teams, really. But De Gea could have been the goalkeeper easily. De Gea is unlucky that he's played in a United era where we've not been very successful, because he easily could have played in goal when, if he'd have caught us right. We could have Van der Sar now, and De Gea was then. So, no, I do like De Gea. I'm just not quite sure whether he's a legend yet for me. But for you, a lot of you are saying that he is a legend, and that pleases me, because I like De Gea. So if you're saying De Gea is a club legend, that's great. I'm quite, if anyone's watched the show for a while, I'm quite pedantic about legend and world class. For me, world class, there's only about, you can't have more than, I don't think you can have more than 10 world-class players at one time. And I don't hand out United legend very easily either. I had the debate a few years ago about whether Rooney was a legend. because I've got quite high standards of where that's been. If you think that, you know, if you think loads of players are world class and loads of players are legends, then your level's going to be different to me. And that's just a completely individualistic opinion on what your level is for legend and world class. I'd say he's a legend because he's carried us. Yeah, Gabriel, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think Pogba is already more hated by the fan base than Tevez. And thanks for my first experience watching Jaws. De Gea is a legend in my opinion, says Bruce Wayne. Thank you very much for the super chats, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Massive summer ahead for Manchester United. We're very close to 330,000, as you can see in the top right-hand corner. So please do subscribe to the channel and get involved. And remember, I am doing a watch-along for Liverpool against Spurs on That's Football tonight, which is more or less straight after this game anyway. We are only 50 subscribers away from 330,000. So please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with the United Stand. We will be live throughout the summer with morning shows, evening shows, going live straight away when there is transfer news. And also very excitingly, we'll be going live in a different way. Figure that one out. Not even doing it in the shower. Do you think Pogba has even seen what happened to Sanchez and Ronaldo, and the City thing is to drive United to make a higher offer? Morbid, I actually think Paul Pogba, if we offered him £500,000, he'd take it. Thoughts on United page about McTominay hiding on the pitch and not offering himself for a pass when playing as a CDM? Very insightful, says Salah Ahmed. Mate, I'm not going to start shouting out Twitter accounts and stuff like that because I don't see them shouting me out. But on a serious note, there's some great Twitter accounts out there. Of course there are. But I'm not interested in a Twitter account or another website telling us that Scott McTominay hides. You know, why not shouting our community out? We've been watching games all season. I remember talking about this back in October. Scott McTominay against Young Boys away from home was, it was one of it might have been Young Boys, it might have been Villarreal, it might have been Atalanta. He played as the holding midfielder and he visibly disappeared between the two strikers and stood behind them when Maguire and Lindelof had the ball. He's been doing it all season. All season he's been doing that. He goes and hides when the centre-backs have got the ball. Watch Matic. He'll drop in and take the ball off them. Rodri is averaging about 70, 80 passes per game. Sometimes he's hitting 100. McTominay's averaging 40. As a CDM, it's not even breaking news. He hides. He doesn't take the ball off the back four, but he's out of position. That's not his job, and he doesn't know how to do it. So, you know, I don't think it's any breaking news, to be honest, on that one. Please stay on YouTube, says Awi. No, we're moving everybody onto Twitch now. No, we're not. I don't think Pogba's worth 300k, never mind 500k. Well, look, Jim, just on Pogba as well, I don't understand for the life of me why last summer, and we did definitely do it, Romano said it, a few people have said it, I don't understand for the life of me why Manchester United, and look, this is the problem with United. Oh, Lingard, you can stay. We're not going to play you, though. Bailly, 3-year contract. We're not going to play you, though. Henderson, stay for another year. We're not going to play you, though. Donny, don't go on loan. Stay. We're not going to play you, though. And then last summer, we put a contract on the table for Paul Pogba that's $400,000 a week. What has he done to earn a pay rise? Like, what has he done to earn $400,000 a week? I like Pogba, but this is Man United Football Club being run again like a bunch of prats. He's done nothing to earn $400,000 a week. He's not worth $300,000 a week. He's a good player, but he's not a $300,000 a week player. He might be for marketing reasons, but as a footballer of Manchester United over the last 6 weeks, I would argue that we shouldn't be paying him any more than $200,000 a week. Look at what Liverpool are paying some players. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold's on $300,000 a week. And he's delivering week in, week out, you know, with goals and assists. So United should not have ever put that on the table anyway. I don't know what they're thinking they're doing. G'day, Mark. What do you think has happened with Eric Bailly? Ralph hasn't given him a look at all, says D-Train. I know exactly what's happened with Eric Bailly. Have you heard the Ten Hag chant? 1, 2, 3, Ten Hag, says Abhishek. I haven't heard the chant. I know Eric Ten Hag was asked about it, but I haven't heard it, no. I know exactly what's happened with Eric Bailly. That was what I was going to say. So in relation to Eric Bailly, I'm just going to have a stand up. In relation to Eric Bailly, he has effectively been sidelined and lied to. And no one likes to be lied to, but he signed a 3-year contract last year, having not been picked by Solskjaer, having been told he was part of the first team plans. And now this has happened with a few people. And basically, Eric Bailly is one of the toxic players in that club. So's Jesse Lingard, so's Dean Henderson, so's Phil Jones, so's anybody who hasn't had the game time they wanted. And when I say toxic, maybe they leak things, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't get on with anybody in the dressing room, maybe they do. But they're not happy. There's too many players that Solskjaer, oh, bloody hell, 2-2 with Wolves against Chelsea. Connor Cody. 90 plus 7. Wolves, eh? Wolves, eh? Oh, they've gone up. Bristol Rovers have gone up with a 7-0 as well. I'm still fuming Lingard didn't get sent off at West Ham, says Sean O'Rourke. But that I don't know what that means in relation to the league table, but it's certainly... let's have a quick look here. So live league table would put Wolves on... I don't think Wolves can catch us, actually. I don't think Wolves can actually catch us. Let's have a quick look. So I've got Wolves on 49 points. All right. Is that not live then? No. So yeah, Wolves could, if they win their last 3 games, Wolves could catch it. Of course, Wolves have got to play Man City, and so have West Ham. So that makes it a little bit interesting. But welcome, cheers, Mark, says Parth. Thank you very much for being a member, and welcome to Members Club Ritvik. Please that. With the likes of Adeyemi, Nico Schlotterbeck close to signing for Dortmund, and Sule already signed, will that finally bring competition for Bayern, says DBN? No. Bayern Munich have got a monopoly there, I'm afraid. It won't make any difference. Full-time, Chelsea 2, Wolves 2. So does that leave the door slightly ajar for Arsenal to catch Wolves? Well, potentially it does. Potentially it gives Spurs a chance to catch Chelsea as well. But Chelsea, as we know, limping over the line at the moment. Lost to Everton last week as well. Mark, as much as the club are arseholes, I blame a large amount of the blame on Ollie. He is to keep an all on Pogba. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't agree. I don't disagree with you, WJ. I don't. I said this the other day. You all right, Mark? Says Nathan B. I'm good, thanks, mate. Hope you are. I think that with Ollie, he caused a lot of the toxicity this season by keeping a load of players that were always going to be unhappy if they didn't get picked, and he promised to give them game time, and he never did. And I think with not buying a midfielder as well, it was bloody obvious that it might go wrong, and it did. So yeah, he's caused us a few problems, definitely. Definitely. Right. I'm more annoyed if Liverpool get 7th Champions League title, to be honest, says Fernando. What's your score prediction, Mark, says Ziza? I'm going to go 1-1. So are you bothered if Paul Pogba goes to City? We've had 15,000 votes. Yes, say 35% of you. No, say 65% of you. So there you go. 65% of you would not actually be that bothered if Paul Pogba signed for Man City, which I think is quite interesting, isn't it? Because there is not that weight of feeling that maybe there was. Well, certainly there was when it came to Ronaldo last summer, and maybe this is all about publicity anyway. Maybe there's no intention of him going to City. It's just United trying to get people to go, oh no, stop him going to City. Maybe, you don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, we've got another poll for you as well. Results: United win, draw, or Brighton win. Who's rumoured to come to United this summer, says Ross? Virtually every footballer in Europe, I think. If you want the 3 favourites at the moment, in my opinion, from what I've heard and what I've spoken to, in my own opinion, we're going to buy a centre-back, a CDM, and a striker. I think Darwin Núñez is the favourite to be the striker at the moment, although I'd keep an eye on Nkunku. I think in relation to the midfielder, I'd keep an eye on Ruben Neves. And in relation to the centre-back, I would say Akanji or Timber, I think will be the one we go for. We've definitely spoken to Akanji. We definitely want Timber. But as I said a couple of days ago, the problem with Timber is respect. Ten Hag and Man United don't want to be disrespectful to Ajax and start speaking to Timber. But Bayern Munich ain't bothered. So Bayern Munich can be more aggressive in their pursuit of Timber. United have got to be more respectful, and that may cause problems. But United do really, really want it. Good to see Maguire on the bench, says Rahul. Yeah, it's fantastic. Maguire in a tracksuit, best performance he can put in. Look at Bremer from Torino for centre-back, says Tavern. I'm not a scout, mates. So, Watford have been relegated. Why? I have learned of the clubs that are queuing up for Rashford, says Jack. They are Stoke, Leyton Orient, Accrington Stanley and Shrewsbury. Okay. Ridvick, welcome to the Members Club. I think I'd already said that. Look, in relation to Rashford, he's ill. I've got no interest in talking about Rashford or Lingard. Manchester United are playing a game of football. Then neither of those are starting. I think I'm slow sports news with this one, but saw Rangnick say on the presser that the board said no to signing forwards. Regardless of where we end up, I'm happy that he's exposing the board, says Parth. Well, you know what, Parth, as well, it's the confidence of the manager to be able to do that as well, because he did say that. And a big part of me thought, oh, you know what? Isn't that interesting that that Ralph Rangnick is coming out and saying that he wanted to sign players and the club wouldn't let him do it. And yet he's still here as an advisor. And part of me thought, he ain't going to be here as an advisor. You can't keep coming out and slating the club. But ultimately, I think that we changed CEO at the end of the month. So maybe Richard Arnold isn't bothered about that. Maybe they're not bothered about Rangnick exposing that. What's wrong with Shrewsbury, says the Royal Mail X. Thank God you're not a scout. United would be relegated, says JT. There's always an arsehole, isn't there? Always an arsehole. Thanks for the super chat, though. We need a replacement for Tellez, says Nason. And Nkunku isn't a striker, says Diddy. Well, you might want to research what he's been doing this year, mate. I personally don't think he is, and I don't think striker's his best position, but he has been playing as a forward for Leipzig this season. Your predicted 11 for Ten Hag's first Premier League game next season. That's a video, Salah Ahmed. I'm not going to do it now. Next season is about rebuilding and not fighting for the title. I'm okay with that. Pogba gone is not a loss as creative dimension. What season ever is about fighting for the title? I tell you what, though, I'm really looking forward to this game. I know we're wandering into other areas, and that's absolutely fine. But the players are just warming up on the pitch here, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I think Brighton play a really good brand of football, and I think United played a good brand of football against Brentford on Monday night. I told you Brighton's home record is ridiculous, didn't I? You won't believe this. If you didn't watch the preview, Brighton would be third from bottom if it was just on home form. But they would be third from top if it was just on away form. So Brighton's away form is way better than their home form. That doesn't mean we're going to win. I don't think you can look at it like that. I think it might be a draw tonight. But I'm hoping we can build on it and take a bit of momentum into the summer. You know how far Man United has fallen when the biggest achievement of their season was Man City losing in the Champions League semi-final, says LFC TV. Well, that wasn't the biggest achievement of our season. Started watching United stand in August. Have a beer on me, says Ben. Thank you very much for the super chat, Ben. And yes, Brighton are a good watch. Little finished product, though, which is their undoing, says listener. Well, exactly. I was going to come on to that. I think Brighton are very easy on the eye. They like to pass out from the back. They like to move the ball, one touch, two touch. So there'll be a good intensity to the way that they play. They're not a slow team. And United seem to want to move the ball quick as well. It'll be interesting to see how high the line is, because obviously Harry Maguire's not playing today, but we might not play such a high line because we're away from home. I hope we do. How much of these details Rangnick is coming out with is because he rightly has to consider his own reputation, says Stephen. Look, maybe Rangnick's coming out with all this stuff because he knows he's leaving at the end of the season. I hope not. Do you think United can get top four? Not a chance. All-time health, not a chance. Not a chance. Barath says there's no toxic players starting today. I don't think there's any English players starting today. Correlation? I don't know. There isn't an English player starting, is there? They're all non-English. So we've got Spanish. Oh no, Delo, of course. If you know, you know. So we've got Spanish, Portuguese, French, Swedish, Brazilian, Scottish, Serbian, Portuguese, Spanish, Portuguese, Swedish. So yeah, only Delo. If you know, you know. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're only 20 subscribers away from 330,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. And we've got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of shows for you this summer. It's going to be very, very busy. Loads of transfer news to get involved in. Make sure you tune into the United Stand. Always interactive. We put your tweets on, well, not your tweets, we put your chats up but down below. We put the tweets up there for you. It's going to be a very interactive summer. This is the place to be. Spurs are looking at Potter as Conte replacement. Your thoughts, Mark? I think the rot is at the top, says Ram. Man City losing wasn't your biggest achievement this season because you had none. Shameful to earlier say Pogba to City is mercenary, but PSG would be okay, says JJ Ash. Well, JJ, you strike me as a super prat for a start. That's not a super chat. That's a super prat in JJ. We haven't had any major achievements this season because we have been crap. You're right. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with any other United fan. I think the genius of being a fan is the ability to stay a fan no matter what. And this fan base ain't going anywhere. It's been a crap season. We don't control what happened. If I had any control in it, it'd be a very different United side you'd be looking at. But in relation to the second point that you said about it would be, how can you call Pogba a mercenary going for Man City, but not mercenary going to PSG? Well, a couple of reasons, really. First of all, he's French. So going to PSG isn't mercenary when he's French. And second of all, PSG have got a good chance of competing for a Champions League next year. So how is that mercenary? Going to Man City when you've been at Man United for 6 years, well, yeah, Man City have got a chance of winning the league and the Champions League, but you don't do that. You don't do that. No one with any class does that. You don't spend 6. Also, remember Pogba was here as a 14-year-old as well. He was here for a few years as a 14-year-old, went to Juventus, came back for 6 more years. So, I don't think there's anything. You can't compare him going to PSG with going to Man City. So, bit of a super prat that. King Eric says, well, this is for you, Draughty. King Eric says, finally you fixed the lower banner. It was on 30 FPS and now it's on 60 FPS. I don't know whether that means anything to you.
Yes, it's been fixed. So, we did notice it and it took a while, but we fixed it. So there you go.
GT says, Rangnick confirmed in an interview that Maguire has been benched, nothing to do with injury. Well, I think he had a knock with his knee, didn't he? I do think I think the last couple of games, he's obviously had a knock because he hasn't even been on the bench. But I don't think anybody can argue about the starting lineup today. I think it's exactly the right one. We should have some quotes coming in from Rangnick, actually. Let me just have a quick look. He normally does say something pre-game. If you want to check out at United Stand MUFC, by the way, you can see Adams at the ground. He's just done a nice little video from inside of the ground. So here's Rangnick. He says, there's no reason to change the team. After a 3-1 win and a clean sheet and with all the players available, there was no reason to change. Absolutely spot on. He said, I know how important Fred can be, but we did well against Brentford, so I decided to have him on the bench, but it's pretty likely that it'll come on in the game. So obviously Fred was the only player that was really pushing to start. And he says, I know Harry would have wanted to play, but we had other games where Harry played and Raphael or Victor didn't. This is part of the game. We have a couple of good central defenders. There you go. Absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Spot on and about time. Love it. So we've got the league table and as you can see, 55 points for Manchester United. We've got 58. We've definitely got 58 points. That's an inaccurate league table. Draughty's knocking points off for us. We've had 3 points to be deducted for being shit. No, but we have got 58 points. So West Ham have got 3 games to go. We basically are going to finish 6th. Wolves would have to win their last 3, and we would have to lose our last 2 to go past us. West Ham would have to win their last 3, really, to go past us, and we'd have to lose our last 2. We're 1 win away, really, from confirming that position. Rangnick is right to play the same team. These players played well and deserve to keep their places, as Connor. I hear you, bro. I hear you, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, absolutely spot on. We absolutely should be picking the same team. I don't know why people thought that we wouldn't. I mean, I was talking about it yesterday with somebody, and they were on about, do you think you'll pick the same team? And I said, well, let me put it this way. We've been criminally shit this season, all season. We actually played quite well on Monday night, and he'd contemplate changing the team. Rangnick struggled to find players who actually want to play for him. We've seen some people just basically jogging around. He finds a team that wants to play for him, don't change it. And look, I think Harry Maguire does want to play for Rangnick, by the way. He's not a player that's against Rangnick, but he has cost us a few goals this season. So if you did bring Maguire in and we did concede a goal, people would be like, oh, favouritism and all this, that and the other. So the team picks itself. Thomas says, have we really played 36 games? Thomas, it's nearly all over. It's nearly all over. Mark, how about you take a breathe and think before insulting people who super chat their thoughts to pay your bills? You have a voice, don't be a bully. Akshat, shut up. You're talking absolute nonsense, mate. I don't know whether you have a sense of humour where you live, but the reality is it was a bit of banter, and I've been doing it for 6 years, and it's banter. And I think the guy who put the super chat in knew it was banter, and he's probably sat at home laughing at the fact that he's probably riled me a little bit, and we've had a bit of banter. So stop being a prat and chill your pants. Paul says, hi, Mark. I find the calls for De Gea to be replaced due to issues with his distribution strange. Surely he has a pro, can be coached to fulfill that role. Look, I'm not getting into the De Gea distribution arguments. I certainly don't think he's Amazon Prime standard, but I think he can be better. And I think one thing that, it's either good or bad, isn't it? No one ever wants to step into between. It's either right or wrong. Like Akshat there, he thinks having a bit of banter is bullying. Actually it's not. But the reality is some people just go from one extreme to the other. With De Gea, he's either crap or brilliant, and that's where it is. But the reality is, I think the interesting bit on the debate with De Gea is that he can definitely improve. I don't think his distribution is ridiculously bad. I mean, Mark Bosnich, if anyone can remember him, oh my God, we brought him in as a replacement for Schmeichel. His distribution, if you think De Gea's is bad, you need to go and watch Mark Bosnich. He was awful. But I think with regards to, and Barthez, remember Barthez? I mean, he was quite a small goalkeeper, and everyone put up with it because he was like, so good on distribution. He was a bit of a nightmare, really. So I think with regards to United, what I would say is, even if we had Ederson, he'd have problems because we've already spoken about how McTominay goes missing. He doesn't want the ball. There's Fred who wants the ball, but it bounces off him like a trampoline. We don't really. Our back four's not great at wanting the ball either. They're not confident. In fact, one of the few games where the back four wanted the ball was actually against Brentford. So it'd be interesting to see tonight how that works, because Varane wanted the ball on Monday. Lindelof wanted the ball on Monday. Tellez and Delot wanted the ball. So you can improve as a goalkeeper with your distribution when you've got players who want the ball. And I think there's a lot of players this season that have gone hiding. So United for life, even in difficult times, says Josh. Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to this game tonight. I really am. I'm looking forward to the Liverpool-Spurs game as well. I'll be doing a watch-along for that on That's Football, but I'm looking forward to this. Carl says, De Gea is still class. Reality is our defence and midfield aren't good at taking the ball out from the back. Why blame the one thing that works, says Carl. Look, if Eric Ten Hag in his interview said, and he won't say this, but if Eric Ten Hag walks into that club, I'll guarantee you, this will happen, right? Eric Ten Hag is having a meeting with Rangnick or whoever about recruitment. What do you think about De Gea? Fantastic goalkeeper, but his distribution worries me a little bit. Do you want to sell him? Oh, no. I'm just saying it might be a problem in a year or two. For now, we definitely keep him. But in a year or two, I forget De Gea. Like, I've got loads of problems to sort before I look at that. And in the meantime, we'll see if we can improve him. That's what's going to happen with De Gea. Ten Hag will go, look, I'd rather his distribution was a bit better. I'd like him to be a bit higher on his line. But we can work on that for the next year. We've got other things to work on. United have 99 problems, but De Gea ain't one of them. Exactly, Stephen. I think that's the thing. Rangnick's quote on screen there, talking about Harry Maguire. Ultimately, he shouldn't be starting. Who's going to get the golden boot? Well, it'll be Salah, won't it? Bosnich was only good at distribute. Yeah, I can't read that one out. Gaz, I can't read that. You know what? After Schmeichel, we had a bit of a nightmare. I mean, I'm taking you onto the History Channel here, but we did have a bit of a nightmare after Schmeichel. He was a fantastic goalkeeper. Obviously, it was up to him to leave. I think he left Man United, went to Sporting Lisbon, came back to Man City and Villa. So he could have stayed at United for a couple of more years, and I wish he bloody had. Because until we got Van der Sar, we never really sorted that out. And Roy Carroll was crap, says Rob. Yeah, we had a few dodgy keepers. Haven't noticed Fletcher in the dugout for the last 2 games. What's that all about, says Julian. Probably started doing his job again. Yeah, we had Bosnich. Roy Carroll played in goal. Barthez played in goal. It wasn't until we got Van der Sar that it sort. Tim Howard played in goal as well. Yeah. Tayibi. God, I remember him. Martial plus 50 million for De Jong. Is that a deal you would do? I would bring in Timber, De Jong, Anthony, Kamara, and Nunez for 190 million. Totally realistic, says Alf. I mean, look, if you can use Anthony Martial in a swap deal, I'd do it. Watch United have another excellent performance today with players who actually keep the ball. Rick was right all along, says Andrew Mack. I think we've got Ricky doing a reaction, actually, after the match. It'll be interesting to see what he says. He'll be very happy about Mata and Matic, that's for sure. Welbeck's going to score today, says Andreas. And look, I'm looking forward to it. I think with Varane and Lindelof, I've always felt that they're our best centre-back pairing. They're more mobile. They move the ball quicker. Harry Maguire can definitely pass, but he doesn't move the ball quickly. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Look, fullbacks, we need to work on our fullbacks. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't buy a fullback this summer because there's more important areas to improve on. But don't you find it interesting that we're trying to buy a centre-back? We've got Varane, we've got Maguire, and we've got Lindelof, and we're looking to buy a centre-back. Now, I think it's going to be really interesting what calibre of centre-back we buy. If you buy Timber or Akanji, then you could say that they're just replacing Eric Bailly with potential for Timber, and Akanji's 27, so he's just a replacement. But if you buy a Torres, you're buying a first-choice centre-back there. So I'm very interested to see who we buy. Mark, can you say happy birthday to Josh and Jasmine? Double birthday. Happy birthday, Josh and Jasmine. Hope you have a good day. So, yeah, we're about 12 minutes away from the start of this match. So the flow of the night tonight, we normally have a fan forum. We're not doing a fan forum tonight because basically this game will finish at about 7:20. I'm then going to jump straight away onto my match reaction, which will be still be quite a long match reaction, but it will finish just before 7:45, where I'll then jump onto That's Football for Liverpool against Spurs. So we're going to be live pretty much. Well, I'm going to be live pretty much until about 10 o'clock tonight. So I hope you're going to stick with me and join me, get involved. What's your opinion on Lindelof, says Stefan. I'm glad you've asked me that, Stefan, because I think Lindelof's a player that we don't get asked a lot about. Lindelof to me is like the centre-back Matic. I've had a mixed relationship with Lindelof. When we first bought Lindelof, I was very pro Lindelof and I liked him. And then I think I fell into the trap with Magaluf, Maguire and Lindelof, that I felt that Lindelof was the weak link and we needed a centre-back to play with Maguire. So I probably criticised Lindelof more than I did Maguire last season. I didn't like the deep line. I didn't like the fullbacks tucking in. I didn't like Fred and McTominay standing in front of them. And I think I gave Lindelof more criticism than he deserved. And I gave Maguire less than he probably deserved. Because this season, it's become very clear to me that Lindelof and Varane is our best centre-back pairing. And Maguire is a weakness that maybe I hadn't really noticed as much with Lindelof when they play together. I think Lindelof and Maguire just doesn't work. But I think Lindelof and Varane does, because you've got the recovery place of Varane. Lindelof's not fast, but he's not slow, so you can play a high line. And Lindelof's very intelligent on the ball. He's a lot quicker on the ball than Maguire. Maguire can pass, no doubt about it. Maguire can pass. But Lindelof's quicker. He's more proactive on the ball. So, look, is Lindelof and Varane going to win you a title? No. No. Is Lindelof a really good backup centre-back that you can rotate and use reliably? Yes. So I think Lindelof, if we bought Torres and we played Torres and Varane as our first choice centre-backs, then Lindelof as a backup would be my third choice. If we do buy Torres and we play Torres and Varane, there's no way that Harry Maguire has the profile of a third choice centre-back. Whereas I think Lindelof does. I don't think Lindelof would be too bothered about that. But Harry Maguire is an £80 million centre-back who's been the captain of the club, who's on 200 grand a week. I don't see how he can be a third choice centre-back. So I think he will be given an opportunity again. But fair play to Rangnick for not picking him tonight. Corb says, I'm not sure why you want someone to replace Delo when he's only 23. Well, I didn't say that, Corbs. You need two fullbacks, and I'm not convinced that Wan-Bissaka's going to be the right man. So I would want someone. I would love personally to bring Lamptey in from Brighton or Spence in, who's on loan at Forest at the moment. One of those two with Delo next season, I'd be very happy with. But we do need a right back and we do need a left back, because I don't believe Wan-Bissaka and Delo are the future. Maybe Delo is with another right back, and I don't believe that Shaw and Telles are. Telles, for me, isn't good enough. And also, Luke Shaw's not even signed the new contract yet. Joshua Bowers says, I think people sleep on Shaw. He might not be good at early crosses, but his interplay is really good. Getting to the byline, he can pick a pass. Look, I've always been a big fan of Luke Shaw, Joshua, as many people know. But I will hold my hand up and say he's had a bad season. There's no doubt about that. He has had a bad season. And I think he can have a better one. But yeah, I agree with you. I think his stamina is unbelievable. He doesn't get the credit he deserves in the way that he goes back and forward. And I think that, he's a lot better, but he hasn't signed the new contract yet. What do you think about Inacio from Sporting Rumours, says Arjun? They are just rumours at the moment. He's a decent centre-back. I really like him. But I like Vardiel from Leipzig as well. But I don't know whether what. I mean, it's another two centre backs that we've been linked to that I don't think that we're in for. Gary Owen. It's absolutely incredible. It's like me, Gary Barlow, and Mark Owen. Gary Owen, absolutely incredible. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club, Gary. Thank you very much for joining. And really appreciate your support. If you join, click the join button, you get your little badge next to your name, you get exclusive video content as a thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you very much for that. Vardiel was poor against Rangers. Yeah, but this is what I hate about when people, amateur scouting. Oh, he's crap in that game. We're not playing FIFA. Like, Ronaldo's had a bad game this season. People have bad games. It doesn't mean they're bad players. And he's a developmental player anyway. He's a player that's going to get better with the right development. Jawad, welcome to the Members Club. Right, I just need to change the channel here. So keep talking. That's what we'll do. But yes, it's a big game, this, in the sense that if we can just get the win, then we can basically confirm Champions League, not Champions League football, Europa League football. And I think we're going to get a good game here. I think one of the things is, I think some people have got a bit of a downer on the last two games of the season, but Palace play a good brand of football. Brighton play a good brand of football, and I think it's a good game. I think it's a good game, and it's a good opportunity. We've hit 330,000 subscribers, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the channel. United Stand. It's going to be a massive summer, and we'll have everything covered for you. Suspect the reason they extend the contracts of players that need to go is in the hope that their value increases before selling them. Exactly, Nadov. That's exactly what they do. And Paul says, I think the defence were more comfortable taking the ball against Brentford because they knew Matic and Mata to pass to instead of McFred. Yeah, look, one thing I really want to see from United today, and I'm actually going to write it down. You know what? There's been a lot of criticism of it. Let's actually make it a point for the match reaction. So I always like to, I haven't done it for a while because we've been so shit, but I used to always, before a game, say, watch out for these three things. So I'm going to write 3 things down from this game. McTominay, let's see, he had a lot more passes and touches on the ball against Brentford. So let's see how much he gets on the ball. De Gea distribution, let's see if it's any better with what I think is a more fluid team. And the third point I want to talk about is I want to really, really analyse this player today is Bruno. Let's see if Bruno is more patient on the ball as well. Do you think the winter break will benefit United and Eric Ten Hag? Says Duncan. Why would it benefit us more than it benefits anybody else? I don't know. And also, Joe says, City paid more for Grealish than we did for Maguire and rarely start him. Chelsea broke the bank for Kepa and dropped him. Maguire's worse. No excuses, says Joe. Yeah, but United have a weird, media around us, don't we? I mean, Jesse Lingard's not played this season because he's been crap. And yet he gets asked about it in the press conferences. Look at Ronaldo, look, sucking on a Werther's original, clapping the team, telling them to go out and perform. Hi, Mark. I just want to know why Premier League clubs never look at Graham Potter more. It amazes me, says Ali. Thank you very much for the super chat there. Do you think Eric Ten Hag will change? I don't know what that's all about. Sorry, mate. Look, somebody said it. I'm glad you reminded me about it. I saw it last night that Graham Potter's been linked with the Spurs job. I think Everton should have broke the bank for him. I think he's a fantastic coach. I think he deserves a bigger job. No disrespect to Brighton, but I think he's better than that. And if Conte does leave Spurs, they should be all over Potter. I think it's time to leave Brighton for Potter, and I think he can do a job at a bigger club. So, look, I hope Conte stays, but ultimately, I wouldn't mind seeing him manage at a bigger club. And with all due respect, they are a bigger club. I don't think anybody can deny that. What matches you live streaming tomorrow, says Game Pro? I don't know yet. If you must bring one current United player on to do a watch along with, who would it be, says Vincent Chan? Just for the pure banter of it, because I think it would get very, very, very almost aggressive. Roy Keane, because he just wouldn't give an inch, would he? And if I disagreed with him, it would be, do I want to get my head ripped off here? Or should I just nod my head and go, yeah? Which I think people would find quite funny because I'm quite opinionated. So would I dare be opinionated sat next to Roy Keane? Elsa, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. And let's have a quick look here. So we're getting very close to the start here. Mark, if Potter leaves, will Brighton be relegated, says Troy? Well, I do think he is that good. I do think that he is that good. Sorry. I'm just sending a message to someone before kick off. Bruno for captaincy next season. I hope you're doing good, Mark, says Dexter. And hi, Mark. What is the most underrated fullback Premier League history? For me, it is fullback. And Irwin. I agree with you, Matthew. Absolutely fantastic player. Absolutely fantastic player, Dennis Irwin. If you know, you know. So we're about to start the game here. I'm really excited about this. It feels like it's been a long build-up talking about Pogba, etc. But I just want to watch this game. I really like the way Brighton play. I don't watch Brighton enough. And the reason I don't watch Brighton enough is because you spend a lot of time watching the Chelseas and the Liverpools and the Man Cities and the Arsenals because they're involved in the title races and things like that. And, it's a pleasure to watch Brighton when you do get to see them. And I think the way United have been this season, which is poor, this should be an interesting game. Off topic, but did you see Bristol Rovers having to win 7-0 to go up and they did it, says Mushy. Well, I'd be having a look at that opposite team. What's gone wrong there? 7-0 is a rarity, and they get the scoreline they need to get. I mean, it's a fairy tale. I love it. but having not watched it or not knowing anything about it, the cynic in me straight away says, "Oh, what's going on with the other team there? How have they got done 7-0? Scunthorpe already relegated," says Jorty. So have they down tools? I don't know. Anyway, we started 5 seconds in. Bruno just hit a long ball straight away. So that's a cross next to him for being patient with the ball. Brighton is a tough game, says Int Outlet. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, no, I just in relation to him, I've seen him on loads of things recently. He's not an original from there. It's just somebody they've plucked up. So Brighton just knocking the ball around the back here. I'm eager to see what the line is for United here, how high the line is. And it's relatively high. It's certainly about 5 meters higher than it would be with Maguire playing. Not massively, but yeah, we've got to drop down here because Brighton are on the attack. Well in by Delow. Lindelof stops the corner. Well done. Goes for a throw-in. We've only had about a minute here, mister, so it's hard for me to tell you anything about how the team is lining up, but it's been a decent start from Brighton and a high tempo. I want to see a high tempo game because ultimately at this time of the season, you just want to see some good football, don't you? And I don't want to see United losing. I've gone with 1-1. Well in by Tellez. Bit sloppy though. Cross to the back post. And is that a goal kick? Yes. Goal kick. Goal kick. Yes, I am doing the Liverpool Spurs game. Looking forward to it. I mean, I think Spurs will lose, but they need to try and get a result, if I'm honest. That's Seb in the background. Apologies. He's having a laugh. Bring Roy on. That would be absolutely fantastic, says T-Rex. I guarantee Roy Keane's appearance to do anything is a 5-figure fee per minute, probably. So Brighton are having a lot of the ball here. They are the home team. They like to have possession. Remember, that's something I want to... Actually, I've got 4 points from this game I'm going to keep an eye on for the match reaction. So I want to look at De Gea in real scrutiny. I'm going to scrutinise his game today. I want to look at Bruno's game and McTominay's game. I want to see if McTominay hides against a better midfield. I want to see if Bruno simplifies his game. And I also want to see what our possession stats are, because against Brentford, we have 70% possession at times. And I think it's going to be interesting to see against a good possession side in Brighton, whether we can do that as well. Early corner for Brighton here. Well, another corner as well. Bit of a sloppy start by Man United, I've got to say. Yeah, I've gone 1-1. We always start slow, says yeah. Well, we are the away team as well. Sunny Brighton as well. Not a bad away day, actually. Edge of the box, Cucurella picks it up. I do like that Cucurella. Another really good signing for Brighton. As I said, I haven't watched loads of Brighton, but when I've watched them this season, I've been really impressed with him. I'm surprised Lamptey's not starting. He's been on the bench the last 2 games. But remember, Brighton, their form is not actually that bad over the last while. They beat Wolves 3-0, I think, last week. They beat Spurs and Arsenal away a couple of weeks ago. So they're in relatively decent form, Brighton. We've not really had the ball at all yet, Guy, no. Olb says Cucurella is class. What's your production, says Ben. I think you mean prediction. I've gone 1-1. Tellez puts it out for a throw-in. Just need to get a foot on the ball here. This is always United's problem, possession. against the decent side possession. And be interested to see how well Mata plays in a game that's got more tempo to it. What's going on with Chelsea, says Jake. I think they're suffering that hangover, aren't they, of the of what happened to them in the Champions League. But they've got an FA Cup final next week against Liverpool, so they're going to have to step it up. There is Potter. There you go. Home record, terrible. Away record, fantastic. Mark, can you give me my mate Ashley Evans a shout-out, says Rob Thomas. There you go, Ashley. You've had a shout-out. Do you think Tellez has improved defensively? I just think the word limited applies to some United players who, they give it their all, but they're limited players. McTominay gives it his all. He's just limited, isn't he? You can't. I'm not saying they're rubbish. I'm not going to say you can't polish a turd, but if every player could be turned into a world-class player, you wouldn't need to spend 50, 60, 70, 80 million pounds on players. Quality is quality, isn't it? And I just don't think Tellez is a top 4 quality left back. He certainly applies himself, and sometimes he plays well, but I don't think he's ever going to be what we need. Well done, Delo. I mean, to be honest, we need to get a foot on the ball here, because this is just dominating without creating anything, but dominant from Brighton at the moment. We're struggling to get a foot on the ball. Well done, Matic. There's a Brighton player down, and he's stopped it. I think it might be Bissouma. Let's have a look. Into Matic. Yeah, he just sort of catches him in the face. Completely accidental. That's something to keep an eye on in this game as well. Bissouma and Casido. Casido was a player that we were looking at, but number 8, Bissouma. Every time I watch him play United, I just think, why are we not looking at him? Mark Shaw is limited. Tellez definitely way better, says Jay. Well, I agree to disagree. I think Shaw is way better than Tellez. So, Football Guy says it's just a case of how many Brighton will score. Yeah, all right. All right. They've had 72% possession in the first 7 minutes. So we are struggling a little bit, says Keevan. I am doing an FA Youth Cup watch-along on Wednesday, Brian. United in the Youth Cup final against Forest, actually. So Old Trafford, they've sold 60,000 tickets for it already. Here we go. A bit of possession for United. Very good pressing by Brighton. It's hard for us to get possession because Brighton are pressing so well. I think Bissouma's an interesting player. In the chat, do you think he is capable? What do you think his ceiling is? Do you think he can go and play? Do you think his ceiling is a Spurs and Arsenal, or do you think he could go and play for a Liverpool? Nice ball into Mata. Does really well. Holds it up. Tellez, back post maybe. Ronaldo just wasn't quite into his path. And McTominay fouls Bissouma there. Jake says, I don't think he's good enough. Casido is a bigger talent. Well, Casido's playing next to him, so keep an eye on him. I'm always impressed with him. Oh, look, there are. I don't really know what the off-field issues are. I know he was arrested in January, but I don't think United, quite rightly, I don't think United want another Mason Greenwood on their hands. And I'm not saying Bissouma's anything like that, but United do need to start looking at the character of players. We've had lots of problems this season with character of players. I'm not saying like criminal offences characters, but weak mentality, selfish mentality, family members around them, embarrassing them and the club. Like, these are things that Sir Alex Ferguson used to research. I don't know whether Jurgen Klopp does it or Pep does it, but There's too much noise around Manchester United. And we do need to start looking at that. Professionalism on and off the pitch is really important. Juan Mata is probably the most humble player in United, never complains and always works hard when given the chance. Says Gabriel. We need a Matic and Mata regen, says Valiant. Yeah, imagine if when they leave, there is somebody on the open market who's 22, who's like a Mata regen. Good play by Delo here. He's up against Trossard, who I rate Trossard. I think he's a good player. And Delo's done very well there. Very, very well. And I think it was Casido who put the tackle in on him, number 25. So Casido was a player that we were looking at 18 months ago as well, and Brighton went for him for 4 million. And to be fair, he's made the right move. United wouldn't develop that sort of player the way that Brighton would, because he'll get more game time. United getting a bit of possession now. This is important. Brighton, obviously, first 5 minutes really pressed high up the pitch. But United are now having a little bit of the ball themselves. Patience, Mata. That's what we want. Just get on the ball a bit. Goes back to De Gea. Let's have a look at what De Gea does here. That's it. Calmly into Varane. People wanting the ball, which I think is really important. Ronaldo does really well. Go on. Oh, Mata gives it away, but we should win that back. He's given the foul. Trust me, Mark, United will today win. I have a feeling, says Ash. And I'm too young to know, but Keane speaks about scraps with Schmeichel in the 90s. Did this stuff ever leak out like it would today? No. And if it did leak out, Joshua, it wasn't really that well known. I mean, Incy was on about it the other day, wasn't he? That Schmeichel and Keane didn't get on. But, it didn't leak out. Probably because Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't let it leak out. Good high tempo start to this game, though. Brighton have got a free kick here. It's not shootable. They're going to have to loft it in towards the edge of the box. This is the same Casido that was linked to United, Derek. Yeah, number 25. Playing in the midfield with Basuma. It's a big challenge for United today, actually, because their midfield's good. But Matic and Mata, again, have been impressive. Yeah, Sam McTominay's looked a little bit shaky again. I am doing Liverpool Spurs, yes. Feeling like one of those games where we're going to try and play on the counter, says Blake. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, Blake. I mean, this season for United has been horrific, as we all know. And I think that to expect us to come to Brighton and play them off the park when we don't play teams off the park. Brentford was very good, but we don't play teams off the park. And Brighton are a decent side. As I said, 3 of their last away games, they've won against Spurs, Arsenal and Wolves. So we're not going to come here and have 70% possession. I think it's going to be about respect, where we are as a team. And I think we've defended quite well here. Your content is great. Hope that Man United can do better next season. Freddie's very underrated. Hope Arsenal and Spurs get top 4 because Chelsea bottle it, says the Lonely Bean. I think if Chelsea finish outside the top 4, that might cost us our Europa League spot. I'll throw that in there. I'll throw that grenade in there. See what people think. But yeah, I think the only reason 6th place gets Europa League is because the FA Cup winner's in the top 4. So if Chelsea finished 5th, I suppose they're still in a Europa League spot. So I don't know how that works. We've solidified Europa League, right, or not yet? No, we haven't, Christian, not yet. Big love from India, says Shiloh. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thanks for everyone who's joined as a member tonight as well. Thanks for supporting the channel. Appreciate that. Brighton on the attack. Overlap. Well done, Alanga. Tellez wins the header. Second ball. Edge of the box. Watch out. Good block. A little bit under the cosh. Casido. Goal. How's that gone in? 1-0 to Brighton. It's Casido. You couldn't write it. United could have bought him for £4 million just over a year ago. The scouts said he wasn't good enough. Well, he's good enough to score against Manchester United. You could not write it this season for United, could you? United's scouting network said he's not worth it at £4 million. He's bloody worth it now. Brighton's rocking on the sunny day down on the pier. They'll hear the chants of Brighton fans as they go 1-0 up within the first 15 minutes. And look, it's lazy. It's lazy. McTominay's just not blocking that again. There's too many goals this season that we've conceded. It reminds me of Leicester. Not quick enough. Goes through the legs of Lindelof. De Gea's got no chance. Absolutely no chance. It's a good finish. McTominay's got to do better there. Poor. 1-0. Matty Ross, thank you very much for joining the members club. Brighton take a lead. Well, I just tweeted it there. McTominay couldn't close down a corpse. He's so slow. Just not a very good CDM, is he? I don't think De Gea can do nothing. It's gone through two players into the bottom corner. As a goalkeeper, when you see it that late and it goes through people's legs, you're in trouble. But yeah, it's just one of those. Where's the midfield again? It's slow. I'm already thinking, where's Fred? It's interesting that Rangnick mentioned Fred because lovely play by Delo here. But it's not a good start by United. If Brighton are to show their Conference League credentials, they should be beating teams like this, says Peter Bissett. Typical McTominay, nothing new, says Faris. Look, it's one of those goals that I think you're always searching for somebody to blame. Brighton have started the game off better. I thought we were defending quite well. The cross comes into the box. Telles deals with it. And then I think the midfield go to sleep. You're not going to see you're not going to see De Gea save a save like that into the bottom corner when he's unsighted. But you've got to put a block in. It goes through the legs of Lindelof, and McTominay's closing down work is too slow. Go on, Bruno. This is better. This is much better. Mata. Oh, we'll have a corner there, ref. Yes. Keeper should never get beaten like that, says Robert McCormack. Robert, you're better than that. You're better than that, Robert. It's in the bottom corner and he's unsighted. If you look, I'm fortunate enough that I had goalkeeping training when I was 16 for about 6 weeks, and it taught you all about angles and everything. And there's nothing you can do from there. It goes out for a goal kick. Mata and Matic getting overran, no legs. That's why they haven't been playing this season, says Ian Reid. I think, Ian, I almost want to stand up, partly for a stretch, but it's partly to applaud you. Mata and Matic played really well against Brentford, but you ain't saving that. Robert, watch that from behind the goal and tell me that De Gea should save that. It's right in the bottom corner. He ain't going to get that. The finish is fantastic, but it should be blocked. It went through Lindelof's legs, so he was unsighted to Salah. That's nothing to do with the goalkeeper. You're a fool if you think that's on the goalkeeper. It's on McTominay for not closing down quick enough. But yeah, I think Mata and Matic are going to struggle in a game like this because the intensity of Basuma and Casido is, they're very, very athletic. I'd get Fred on ASAP as well. Get a bit of energy in that midfield. Look at his position, says Robert McCormack. And well, where do you want him to be, Robert? Do you want him to stand to cover the bottom corner? Like, he's got to be in the centre of his goal. Mata has a shot, goes for a corner. Let's be real, the whole club gave up weeks ago. We're playing Mata and Matic in back-to-back games. We're on to Serious Football Club. Roll on, Ten Hag, says Aram. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? What place do you think United will be in the table at the end of the season, says Josh. Hopefully 6th, Josh. Today, United sail into history in a Sean Connery accent, says Liam Deegan. Mutta, thank you very much for becoming a member. Yeah, remember as well that United have got 58 points, 2 games to go. If we don't win, we'll get our lowest ever points total. 64 is our lowest ever Premier League total. We can only equal it by beating Brighton and Crystal Palace. So if we don't win today, got a feeling there was a massive argument or drama in the lead up to the game. Reckon Maguire and Ronaldo got into it. Maguire looked salty on the bench, says Harris. I don't know. Isn't that Darren Fletcher sat next to Amas? Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark. What's your honest opinion on Arteta's new contract, says Brandon? I'm surprised Arsenal didn't wait till the end of the season, but Ronaldo, I thought that was a foul. When and why did you start supporting Manchester United, says the Lonely Bean? Matthew Wilson, thank you very much for being a member for 2 months. I support Manchester United because my granddad was just in love with the Busby Babes. So, yeah, that's where it came from for me. It's one of a few times watching Casido, but if he's not worth 4 million, what's Scott worth? 1.5, but he's British. So 40 million, says Edgar. Thank you very much. Well, credit to Brighton. I think Potter will always play the way he wants to play. And that I'm fixated at the moment. Salah Ahmed says the De Gea out talk will begin after this. I just don't get what De Gea has done wrong on that goal. I'll have to see it again at half time, but I don't see what he's done wrong. His position should be in the middle of the goal, and the shot goes in the bottom corner. I genuinely, as somebody who's watched football for most of my life, and can easily spot a goalkeeping error, I don't put that on the goalkeeper. I put it on McTominay for not closing it down. But we've done better since we've gone 1-0 down. Here's Ronaldo. Nice. Oh, sloppy reverse pass by Ronaldo. Yeah, but I can't take my eyes off Basuma and Casido at the moment. They're running the show in the midfield. That's a foul. Scott McTominay's the bang average footballer, Mark. He would not even get in the Brighton side. He won't get anywhere near the Brighton side, Luke. He won't get anywhere near this Brighton side. Basuma and Casido are way better than him. They'll be enjoying it. Up against Mata, Matic and McTominay. Hashtag Bristol Rovers. We're going up, says Matt G. Bruno puts the cross in. McTominay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Second balls. Come on. We need to have some possession here. Somebody just said Man United have got the worst defence since Amber Heard. Right, here's a good chance. Bruno, whip it. Good. Oh, come on. Come on, Bruno. Can't even beat the first man. Did you watch the playoff game last night? 44,000 in League One is impressive, says Luke Warren. No, I didn't. Oh, McTominay's going to get booked. He's just done another foul there. Alanga's been a bit lightweight in this game, hasn't he? I don't think Alanga's having a good game. They've got a 2v1 here. Trossard shoots, blocked by Lindelof. It goes for a corner. McTominay's championship level, but our supporters act like he's about to become De Bruyne. Until effort is not seen as special, we're in the bin, says Brad Lewis. And Mark, we need to keep the ball for more than 2 minutes, says Vey. I think He'll bring Fred on for Matic. He won't bring him on for McTominay, unfortunately. Thoughts on Bournemouth Premier League return, says Luke. Look, fair play. Over 46 games, they've gone up, haven't they? But 11,500 capacity back in the Premier League, I think it's a bit of a shame. I'd love to see a Sheffield Wednesday come back, you know, but they're not even in the Championship. Yeah, Blackburn Rovers would have been good. How does a club as big as us go without a proper midfield for years and be okay with it, says Xander? Very good question. Charlie Savage linked to an Ipswich loan. Any good, says Billy Ford. Yeah, he's a good up-and-coming player. And obviously McKenna at Ipswich will quite fancy that. I think they're going to get promoted as well, Ipswich, aren't they? Did they get promoted yet? Midfield and defence look so lethargic. Even when United have the ball, movement of the ball is so slow. Team needs to wake up, says Mr. Nobody. Mark, I don't know why you've never read my super chat for some reason, says Abdul. I have now. And who's this Pratt with his AirPods listening to Taylor Swift? He's on the bench like, so it's going to be forever. Or is it going to go down in flames? Says the big hoss. And people say Delo is better going forward than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think they're equal. Oh, that's a red card, that is. That's a red. Basuma, come on. Is that a red? Red, surely that. Surely they've got to take a look at that. I mean, I like Basuma, but surely he's got to have a look at that on VAR. Foot's up, studs, right on the knee. It's reckless. Come on, that's what it's all about. That's what VAR's for. Oh, don't start to me about he got the ball. I'm not having that. It doesn't matter whether you get the ball, reckless or not. Not even going to book him. Fucking, I tell you what. I like Basuma, so I'm not too fussed that he's not been sent off. But what really annoys me is inconsistency week in, week out. There'll be a time this season where that has been a red. Tell me I'm wrong. So, you know, doesn't matter where he gets the ball. You're an absolute prat if you said he got the ball. Getting the ball doesn't mean anything. You need to go and educate yourself on football. Getting the ball doesn't mean you can't get a red card for it. We've seen time and time again, you can get the ball and get a red card. What if you stamp on the ball? That's a red card. You can't do that. We've seen people do it. To be fair, slow-mo does always make it look worse, though. The team is like PC running Windows 7. We need a software update, says Matty Ross. Yeah, I mean, 27 minutes have gone and we've been not very good. We don't have the ref with us today, says Ver. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got a red for the exact same thing, Mark, says David. Bruno didn't get sent off for worse for Arsenal, says 58. No, I said Bruno should have got sent off. So I don't know what point you're trying to make there. I started watching United stand because it was funny watching United lose every week, but now they're like that movie villain that you start to root for, says Blue. Yeah, we're becoming Arsenal, aren't we? I don't like that. Well done, McTominay. Now move it. Brighton have just got so much more energy than us. Breaking news, 5 or 6 English clubs are to join the Champions League coming season, says UEFA, from 6 groups to 8 groups. That means from 125 games. Don't know what you're on about, man versus machine. I don't think that's true. Scott's playing well, says Mohammed. Yeah, you tuned in for that last tackle, didn't you? Go back to watching Crime Watch. Where has the myth come from on Delo? Good going forward. His crossing is always way too long, says Dan. Well away by Delo. Mata does well. Alanga's getting absolutely pocketed by Cucurella. Good player, Cucurella. Very good. And he is absolutely dominating Alanga. But what other option have you got? And Basuma's absolutely dominating McTominay. Hi from thoughts on Ajax, Anthony and Timber. I'd take them both, Gary. Frankly, Tottenham, thanks for the super chat. I'm doing a Tottenham watch-along later against Liverpool at Anfield, 8:45. And that's football. Well done, Tellez. Would you rather win the Premier League or the Champions League, says Daz. Any will do. Anything. Absolutely any of them. I'm not picky. Corner to Brighton. I mean, Chucky just said there, we're getting outplayed by Brighton, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's disrespectful to Brighton. Cucurella, good block. See, that's what we should have done in the first shot. Never seen so much walking in the midfield. Was a huge mistake to not get Fred into midfield. His energy and tenacity. McTominay will get a yellow in the next 15, says Alec. Well, you're right. I think he will get booked if he puts another tackle in because he's just accumulation of fouls, really. How many seasons to challenge for the top, says Taru? Well, I'm not going to make that sort of prediction based on this team because this won't be the team that plays next season. Have we had a shot yet, says Rory? Well, we have been in their box a couple of times. Here's Basuma. Overlap. Cross. There's Alanga. Goes down the line. Absolutely nobody there. I mean, who's that to? Who is that to? He passes it down the line. I assume there's a player there. Matic does well. Come on. He's given us the foul. How has McTominay not been booked? He's had 8 fouls, says Nate. Don't tell the ref that. It's just frustrating how randomly our level can bounce from game to game. I don't get how unstable we are, says Mutt. And Mark, would you take Basuma at United for CDM? I mean, I would. I would take Basuma. I've always liked him. I don't know. I can't comment on his character or off-field issues, and that obviously has to be taken into account no matter how good a player is. But he's head and shoulders above anything we've got. So I don't know why we don't get linked to Basuma. He always plays well against us, but there's obviously some reason United aren't interested. That was nearly 2-0. Good play by Lindelof. Oh, he's going to have to make changes, What have we got on the bench? They're battering us here. Trossard. Get away now. Mark, I think Adam Holshik will be a good striker for Man United. 20 years, perfect for a step up, says Abdul. Glad Manchester United fans are getting a reality check after taking the piss out of Man City all week, says MCFC James. Well done on your 10th anniversary of being a fan, James, of Man City. Who did you support before? Let me guess. Was it Chelsea? And hello, Mark. What's the highest or the lowest fee you have paid anybody to be on the United stand, says Zulfi. Yeah, I'm going to sit and talk to you about that. Let me just go to my accounts and give you all that information. Jog on. Casido is a baller, says Harrick. And what is going on, says Drippy. And we got Maguire on the bench, says Jason. Yeah, he's going to change the game. So you're telling me our expensive midfielders are even worse than Brighton players, says Karen. 100%. We've been dominated in the midfield this season by Norwich, by Watford. Like, Brighton are better than them. I don't know why anybody would be surprised by that. I wouldn't bring Maguire on. I mean, I don't think Maguire's going to help us get hold of the midfield. Look at McTominay. He's an absolute joke. He's just gone and got done there. Fucking get McTominay off. He's rubbish. He's rubbish. He's absolutely crap. Like, he was crap against Chelsea, and when teams pressure him, he's nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I've got to have a look at this just This'll give you a little bit of insight. So far we've had 35 minutes. Yeah, 35 minutes in this game so far. Let me tell you this. So amount of passes so far. Basuma 16, Casado 16, Matic 19, McTominay 10. So good play by Matic there, stops across. Scott is being bullied by Basuma and Casado. Yes, he is, Mipsam. He is. This is the definition of watching a well-trained team against a team of individuals, says Rory. Brighton are really annoying. One of these really well-drilled but understand teams, and we're just like the jelly bit in a massive trifle, says Nick P. And right now I'm scared for next season when we can't beat Brighton at home this season. We're not at home, we're playing away. That's not Old Trafford. If you're pretending to be a United fan, you might want to realise that this is not Old Trafford. They're just very aggressive in the midfield, Casado and Basuma, and I think we're going to have to get Fred on because they're just way more aggressive than us. I do like Trossard. I don't know whether he's a United player, but I'd rather... there's a few players I'd take at Brighton over some of ours. Well, Fred might get bounced about, but there's just no speed in that midfield. Interesting ball by Varane. Very good ball by Varane. And Alanga has been poor. Very poor today, unfortunately. Matthew isn't right in the head, says Carl. And hi, Mark. I love Ralph, but how can he criticise Hannibal for indiscipline, but then watch McTominay make about 50 fouls a game? Good point, Louis. Good point. Well made. McTominay needs to be investigated, says User. I think defensively we've played okay. Offensively, we've been a joke. Good play by Bruno. He's given the free kick. Casado caught him. Love the content, Mark. Would you ever consider making content on Man United legends such as Edwards, Law, Best and Charlton? Mark, I would love to. And I'm thinking of putting some of that content on the members section because whenever we've done historical stuff before, people aren't really that interested. So I think if we put it on the members section, then people can take it or leave it. Trossard definitely isn't a United player. Look how well he takes care of the ball, says Dern. I sort of set that up for an assist. Very central free kick here. I mean, Ronaldo's capable from here. He's probably the best person to hit it. Bruno, maybe last season, I'd fancy him. But Ronaldo's going to hit this. Ronaldo's going to hit this. Sorry, very only meant to say Brighton. Ronaldo hits it, not very well. Would you have kept any sold players from the past few seasons? If so, who would that be? Says Matty Ross. I'm trying to think who we sold in the last few seasons that I would have kept. Welcome to the Members Club, Matt. Thank you very much. Well, Ander Herrera wasn't sold, was he? We let his contract run down. We never should have let that happen. Rashford, McTominay, Lingard, all underperforming players who were promoted from youth without going out on loan to prove or develop themselves, says Mr. Dark. Oh, dear. It was always going to be a difficult game, this. I don't know. Draughty just said that Arsenal and Spurs are looking at Memphis Depay. He's only just gotten to Barcelona, hasn't he? Thomas says, Mark from Hugo, if you know tomorrow he plays a friendly versus Ajax Youth, what's your top four prediction now? Chelsea on a massive drop down. Cheers, says Thomas. I think Chelsea will get top four. But oh my God, Cucurella has bullied Alanga, absolutely bullied him. He's dominated him. He's made him look absolutely subpar. There's two players for United. Look, I don't think we've played particularly well anyway, but unfortunately, and look, Alanga's a young player. So I'm never going to get on his back. But it would be worth looking at Cavani because he struggled really badly. Elanga, and obviously McTominay as well. But like LJ says, Cucurella is eating Elanga here. Yeah, he has. He's dominating him. Absolutely dominating. Physically, speed. It's the definition of pocketing. When Cucurella goes home tonight, gets into his house, he'll take his mobile phone, he'll take his car keys, and he'll take Elanga out his pockets and put them on the side. We played better under Ollie even at the end, admit it, says Jefferson. Shut up, Jefferson. I don't mind having a genuinely good debate, but that's just awful. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game was a 4-1 loss to Watford, who've just been relegated today. Alex, welcome to the Members Club. Excited for the F1 tonight, tomorrow? The Merc seems to have found some pace. I really hope so, Joshua. I'm going to have it on at 8 o'clock, actually, whilst I'm watching the Liverpool Spurs watch-along. So, yeah, looking forward to that at 8. Yeah, well, MCW says Saka didn't get much out of Cucurella either. He's a fantastic left-back. Like, let me just say that. Cucurella is a fantastic left-back. And I'm not digging Elanga out. He's a young player. Let's not forget he's a youth player. And he's going to have good games and bad games. I'm not going to have a pop at Elanga and say he's not good enough or anything like that because he's still young, he's still developing. And to be fair, he's a player that has been available for us since Christmas when others haven't. There was a bit of a handball shout against McTominay here. You can guarantee VAR will look at it. 4 minutes to go till half time. Oh, Varane. Oh, my God. Varane makes a massive mistake. Harry Maguire's got a smile on his face. Varane makes a massive mistake. And Welbeck, as well we know, I mean, I'll never forget Danny Welbeck running through one-on-one for United against Bayern Munich and then trying the worst ever chip over Manuel Neuer. Well, he's just had another good chance. Varane gets caught under the ball, passes it to Welbeck on the edge of the box. David De Gea's out of his goal. All he's got to do is lift it over him and he clears it. It's more like a clearance. Thank God it was Welbeck. Yeah, no, I'm not going to hear anything bad said about Elanga because he's a young player. He's developing. He's going to have good games. He's going to have bad games. Cucurella's a very good left back. If you know, you know. And also, you know, Rashford's not here and he hasn't really been here all season. You know, he's been here for us. He's played. Where would we be without Elanga, really? McTominay's such an average player being played week after week after week after week after week, says Gertchen. Who've we got on the bench who could come on for Elanga? Love the channel, Mark. Cracking stuff, says Ben. Well, I suppose Lingard, Cavani. I mean, Garnacho's not really... I don't think it's fair to throw another young player on against Cucurella. Elanga is another Rashford, poor character and overrated. Poor character? What are you on about, Guitar? What do you go out? Do you go out for him for Sunday dinner or something? You'd swear with playing against City, we've been dominated for the whole 45 minutes, says Kinu. And club screwed fans in November, CDM in the summer, and in January, the manager will be well for resources he received, says Monster. Yeah, I just wanted to have a quick look here because I think a valid point has been made that it's almost like we are playing Manchester City, but actually possession is 53%, so we've brought it down. I don't know how we've managed to bring it down. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a lot higher. A minute to go to half time. I mean, realistically, though, Brighton have been the better side. No doubt about that. Brighton have been the better side. But let's be real. They've the goal they scored never should have happened. Like, we should have closed it down better. Oh, he's just booked Ronaldo for that. This ref's a prick. Mate, you're an absolute dickhead. What have you done that for? What you done that for? To say you booked Ronaldo? Fuck off, ref. You're an swivel on that. It's a complete and utter accident. He slides for the ball to make a tackle and catches him late. The bit of foot that he catches the Brighton defender with, it's actually Ronaldo's calf. He tackles him with his calf. Not his studs, not his foot, his calf. What a dickhead. That's the problem with refereeing in this country. It's about going home tonight and saying, I booked Ronaldo. I hope you're wearing your get your sexy lingerie on, because a man who booked Ronaldo's coming home tonight. Piss off, you knobhead. I can't. I just get so. I'll be doing it on the Liverpool Spurs game tonight as well. It's nothing to do with United. I'm just so fed up with crap referees in this country. They're so bad and inconsistent. I mean, how has Ronaldo been booked for his first foul when McTominay's done about 9? Apparently, somebody just saw Adam on the TV. Was he crying? It's a long drive from Manchester to Brighton. I hope he went down the pier and had some chips. He'll probably jump off after this first half. Don't do it, Adam. Don't do it. The summer's coming. We'll be better next season. 2 minutes of added time. We've had 1. Will Liverpool get the quadruple? Will Ten Hag save United? Says Gary. I am worried about Liverpool quadruple. It'd be interesting to see if Man City are impacted by that Champions League loss. I mean, look what it's done to Chelsea. Liverpool will smell blood. Mark, thoughts on Luton reaching the playoffs? Potential Premier League squad that costs less than a month's salary of some of these players, says Patrick. Yeah, so it's Sheffield United, Huddersfield, Luton and Forest in the playoffs, isn't it? So at least we're not going to get... Oh, if it's Sheffield United, I want somebody new. I want Luton or Forest. That's half time. That's half time. So, look, Manchester United... losing 1-0 at half-time. I'll look at the goal again before I pass judgment. But in the general half, Scott McTominay needs to come off and Fred needs to come on. He's been absolutely bullied and we need to do something down the right-hand side as well. There's 2 real weak spots. United's performance hasn't been good. I think defensively we've been okay. Apart from that Varane mistake, the back 4 haven't really done anything wrong. They've been under a lot of pressure. They've defended quite well. The goal is because of the midfield not closing down another midfielder. So you can't blame the back 4 for the goal. And I think they've defended reasonably well. De Gea's not really had a save to make apart from picking the ball out of the back of his net. So defensively, I think United's defence has held up quite well. Offensively, we've been a shambles. We've created absolutely nothing. And I think a lot of that's to do with the fact that Elanga is being dominated by Cucurella. Bruno is not getting in the game off the left. Mata, the game's probably just a bit too quick for him at his age. Matic is trying his best, and McTominay, again, is just getting dominated by Basuma. So there's a few issues in that team that I would be looking to change at half-time. Desperately need to get Fred on just for something. The reason Casido and Basuma are doing so well is because they're so energetic, they're so athletic, and they're first to the ball. You've got to get Fred on in that midfield. I'd bring Fred on for McTominay as a first substitution, and you've got to do something with Elanga. Look, does Cavani want to be tracking back with Cucurella? That's the problem. Maybe you put Lingard on, but we've got to do something there. And Elanga's got a great future. I don't know where it's going to be, but I'm not subbing him because I don't like him, and I'm subbing him because Cucurella's a good left back and he's dominating him. Studs up and takes Elanga's shin, doesn't even get a second look. Ronaldo's first foul and accidental contact, straight yellow. Well, yeah, look, I don't think we'll see the Basuma foul again, Alec, but yeah, ridiculous refereeing, I agree. Welcome to Members Club, Ollie Ward and MMM, Mid-Table Matters for Manchester United, says AS2. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Alec Nichols, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for joining and supporting the channel. This team looks like they're thinking about vacation. They've definitely checked out, so sad. You know what? If we don't win this game, we open up the door to West Ham. They're 6 points behind us. They've got 3 games to play. We've only got 1 more to do it. So there is a possibility that West Ham can catch us. I don't know what their goal difference is like, West Ham. Ours is +4. West Ham's is +7. So they've only got to get level with us and they've got a better goal difference. They've got 3 games to go, West Ham. Is it inconceivable that they'll beat Norwich tomorrow? No. Is it inconceivable they might beat Brighton on the last day of the season? No. Obviously, I don't think they're going to beat Man City, but if they get 6 or 7 points, they've got the same points as us, or they're ahead of us, and we're losing here, and we've only got Palace. We might finish on 58 points. We've got to find something in the second half. Now, one thing that doesn't get mentioned a lot, and I will call it out here, the Sanchos, the Rashfords, Maguire's been injured, Luke Shaw, Paul Pogba, the injury record, the injuries that United have had over the last 6 weeks are ridiculous. And that's why you look at the bench and go, fucking hell, what can we do? Alanga's struggling. Who can we bring on? Rashford's ill, Sancho's ill, Pogba's injured. Mason Greenwood's on police bail, Martial left. Ranić said last night he wanted to bring an attacker in and the club said no. So there are mitigating circumstances here. He is scraping the barrel, Ranić. There's not a lot he can do because of injuries, because of the board and things like that. But we've got to try. It's only 1-0. Alanga is going to be a wonderful player in the future. Come on, he's 20 and he's a mid-table player at best. He's 72. Look, mate, if you want to attack young players and it makes you feel good, crack on. I don't do it. I don't do it with youth. I don't do it with young players. I don't think it's right. Time and time again, I've seen young players get better with time, and I'm not going to start doing that. So, if you want to start hating on Alanga like people are going to be going in on McTominay, I think there's a big difference between the two. Minute left and incapable of getting the ball forward. Never seen anything like this team in my entire life. It's useless, says David. As Charles Barkley would say, 1, 2, 3. Mike says that. Mark, as a Rangers fan, are in the Europa final. Do you think they would survive in the Premiership? Says Cinnamonson. Yeah, I think they would. The praise you gave them last game has gone to their heads, Mark. I would change Alanga off too. He's being dominated. Matic is slowing the game too, says Slow Sports News. Trouble is, if you take Matic on, you keep McTominay on. So much for goalkeeper of the season. De Gea says Rash. Don't know what you're talking about. Mark, why the hell was Maguire laughing when Varane made the mistake for Welbeck's miss? Says Andy and Britt. Was he? Was he really? Should have United kept Depay, and also should Lingard come on, says Slippy. And hey, Mark, I remember when we were linked to Casido and I was excited knowing what type of player he was. Shame we didn't go for him, says Patricio. Oh, yeah, 100%. Well, we're going to see the goal again here. Ralph gave up his 4-2 due to lack of effort, but in by... so here's the Casido goal. So comes to the edge of the box. Look how slow we are to close this second ball down. McTominay does a little bunny hop. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at this shot. So McTominay doesn't close it down anywhere near quick enough. Yeah, I'm just looking at David De Gea's positioning here. It's good. It's right in the bottom corner. Yeah, there's nothing he can do from there. He's in the middle of the goal. It's right in the bottom corner. And look at where Casido shoots. If he goes for the bottom corner, De Gea's got to be in the middle of the goal. So I don't think he can do anything about that. Ralph gave up his 4-4-2 due to a lack of effort, but in by players. Now he has the players putting in the effort. He should go back to 4-2-2-2, says Red Smurf. Alanga is a B-Tech Saka, says Danimal. Remember when we were linked with Casido? Do we regret not getting him? And why did we get dominated so often, says BK? Look, the thing is with Casido is I remember when we were after him the Christmas before last, and I was quite excited about it. There was a lot of people saying that he's a really good talent. But if he'd have come to United, would he have got the development that he's had at Brighton? And that's the bottom line, isn't it? We very nearly got Bellingham, and he went to Dortmund. He would not have had the development that he's had at Dortmund. So we can all say, oh, we should have got Casido, but would he have got the development? I don't know. I don't think Maguire was laughing when that Varane thing happened. I can't see anything on social media about it, and I'm sure there would be. So I don't think that actually did happen at all. But I think he's got to make changes at half time. Ronaldo's a passenger in a game like this. Still scared from having a lose like Rashford, says Guitar Plays. The problem is, I wouldn't put any disrespect onto Brighton. Patricio, welcome to the Members Club. Really appreciate it. Shocking first half, says Walid. I don't think you should be putting any pressure onto Brighton. Any disrespect onto Brighton. They're a very good side. Their home record's not very good, but they've just beaten Wolves. They've beaten Spurs and Arsenal away. Spurs and Arsenal are going for 4th. We're going for 6th. So They are a good side, and that midfield is a really strong part of what they're doing at the moment. Drawty, can you hear me? Can you just there's a few super chats to go through. I'm just going to leave you with Drawty for a minute while I quickly have a toilet break. Is that all right?
Yep, sorry, you caught me eating, so we're all good.
Okay.
Right, let's have a look at some of your super chats, and I think my voice is on. I have no idea. Who cares? Okay, why is he singing that? Weird. Matthew Paul says, I was at Molineux last week. They're Brighton, a team with a plan and a style. They execute it with pace, precision. Hats off to Potter. I know there's a few calls for Potter, maybe in for some of the bigger jobs in the Premier League this season. They are a good team, and I think West Ham are going to struggle against Brighton when they got them anyway. Thomas says, Mark, love from Hugo. If you know, you know. Tomorrow he plays a friendly versus Ajax Youth. What's your top 4 prediction now? Chelsea on a massive drop down. Chelsea are on the drop down, but you've got to question if that's probably because of everything that's been happening with the club the last couple of weeks surrounding Roman Abramovich. When big things are affecting clubs, especially at the top level, it can filter down to the players, and sometimes you see results drop and that kind of thing. It's going to be touch and go whether Arsenal catch them. I don't think Spurs can, but then again, if you look at where United are right now, can West Ham grab us and go for the Europa and we drop into the Conference League? Let's hope not. Hey, what else have we got in here? Ronaldo looks fed up. Very, very. It's difficult to see at the moment. I don't even know if he's going to stay. If you're Ronaldo, okay, and you've won loads and loads of trophies, you're one of the top goal scorers of all time. Do you want to stay at United next season in the Europa League? Do any of you think he's going to stay next season? I personally think he'd probably look for a move to maybe PSG. Potentially, if Lewandowski decides to leave Bayern, maybe he wants a challenge in Germany. There's a few of you in the chat saying no chance. He's not staying. United are in crisis. He's away from Maguire. Maybe he's done with United. Who knows? I'd rather be in 8th and not get pub league. Hey, look. Mourinho's trying to win the Conference League this season, and he's going to see that as a major achievement for him and Roma. So, don't knock it until you try it. But it's not where we want to be. Definitely not. How was the toilet break?
Good, satisfying, and unlike Manchester United's first half performance. Right, how are we all doing, anyone? Everybody, how are we doing? We're going to see a vintage Manchester United in the second half. I've just been for a cup of tea and I've had a look in it and it said nothing. But no, I do believe that we have to get back into this game in the second half. I think it's really important that we do that. As I said, I'm still not convinced that we've got Europa League football sorted out. Mark, did it happen on Sky? It did happen on Sky Sports. Commentator even commented on it, says Andy and Bruno. Well, has anybody got any proof? Tellez needs to switch on. So I don't know. I just cannot believe that the same team from the Brentford is playing completely different against Brighton. It's just so strange to me. Alex, it's almost as if teams can play differently from one game to the next. And I'm not being sarcastic there, but look, a team can play differently. I think when you're playing at Old Trafford, there's more space. You've got the crowd behind you, and a team might. And Brighton play counter-attacking football. Brighton play on the front foot, pressing football. So straight away, Mata and possession and more build-up play is more suitable against Brentford than it is against Brighton. The Jekyll and Hyde personality of this team drives me crazy, says Adam. As I said, Adam, I don't think it's a Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, tactically, I like to look at games and see how they go. Brentford are a team that don't have loads of possession and like to hit on the break. They play a back five. Brighton, you could say play a back five, but they don't really. Cucurella's pushing right up the pitch, and they like to press. They like to move the ball. Liverpool to win the quadruple and City for next season, says JJ Ash. And the other thing I'd say about Brighton is don't overhype Brighton, in the sense that do overhype them, that they're a good team, but they're not dominating us. Their goal was scored because we didn't close down a shot. Brighton are a good side, but they don't create a lot. So we're still very much in this game. They have been the better side, but they don't necessarily change a lot. So Maguire should be locked up in a group. Did Maguire laugh? Is everyone just having a laugh? or did Maguire laugh? You know, they are dominating us space. But what I'm saying is they've not created any big chances. I don't understand why people can't use these two things on the side of their head and listen. They've dominated the midfield. They're dominating the ball, but it's not 70% possession domination, and it's not 10 shots on goal domination. That's what I'm saying. Brighton are very different to Brentford. It's very logical to see why the game's different to Brentford. They're pressing high and they're confident on the ball. Brentford don't do that, so you're going to get more space. McTominay had 70 passes against Brentford. I bet he don't pass the ball 45 times in this game. So it's a very different game. But what I'm saying is as well, we can still, we just need to play this game differently. We've got to try and create some chances of our own, because one thing we are is clinical. We won't lose this game if we create a couple of chances for Ronaldo, because I don't believe Brighton have got 3 or 4 goals in them. Midfield is too old. Team's age is the problem. You can see the energy levels are too low, and Scott is terrible, says Big Hamey. Unfortunately, McTominay will be the player that survives, because he'll take Matic off for Fred, and that will always be the problem. I'm just going to tweet it and find out. Somebody will have some evidence on Twitter. Is there a club? Cavani's coming on and Fred's coming on. So, yeah. Is there a club that misspends their funds worse than United in both transfer fees and wages for mediocre players? No one gets close to his self-esteem. We are top of the league for that. So, Cavani and Fred on. Completely agree with that. Here comes Maguire. He's just been for a poo. It looks like it, doesn't it? Cavani, I see he's took Matic off. Matic and Elanga off. How does McTominay survive? How does McTominay survive? Yeah, interesting that. But Cavani for Elanga makes total sense. It should make us better. This should make us better now. I like Elanga, but it's just not been the performance for him. Ruud Hullet blamed Lindelof on the goal, by the way. He said that the way he closed it down was embarrassing. I thought the way McTominay closed it down was not much better either. Right, we're just about to start the second half. And we're off, second half. Plus midfield isn't tracking runners down the side, says Big Homie. And ask Bruno to stick to his position. He's been playing without direction, says Z. Yeah, but the thing is, if Bruno was playing off the right, it would be a problem. But we're not doing that. You know, they're not really exploiting us down the right-hand side, Brighton. We've got to deal with Cucurella better. McTominay casts a spell on every manager he works with. That's the only explanation, says Salah. And Ralph should watch and take inspiration from you, says Omar. Oh, yeah. I know more than Ralph Rangnick. Not. I wouldn't have took Matic off. I really wouldn't, but he has. How has McTominay not been booked? He's just fouled Cucurella. It's not just managers he's got under his spell. It's referees as well. How many fouls has he given up and not been booked? Ronaldo slips, trips up a Brighton defender with his calf and gets a yellow card. McTominay, constant fouls. It's all right, mate. I just can't wait for us to buy a midfielder. I cannot wait. Hold on. Delo. Well done, Delo. Loses it, though. Do you prefer 1994 Keane, Sharp, Giggs or 1999 Keane, Giggs, Beckham, Scholes? It's booked Delo now. I don't even think this was a booking. He just hates Portuguese people, this ref. Oh, no, that was a yellow card. I thought he got the ball. We couldn't really see. Yeah, that is a yellow card. That is a yellow card by Delo. I put my hands up. When I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I actually thought I thought the angle we saw it on the TV first, it looked like he made the tackle, but no, he's nowhere near. While we persist having players like McTominay top four is our ceiling, we could have Haaland and Mbappe, but with that oxygen thief in the team, it won't matter, says Brad Lewis. Yeah, well, he won't be playing next season as a CDM. There's absolutely no way Eric Ten Hag is going to pick him next season in a holding midfielder position. I think he'll still play games for United, but he won't be holding the midfield. What the fuck was that, McTominay? Fucking hell. Takes the ball off the back four and passes it to the Brighton centre-back. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Kimmich is having nightmares. Bloody hell. Energy, trust and desire is back in the midfield to Salah. Well, I do think we need Fred's energy, but okay, now who's on the back post here? Nobody. Cuts it back. Cucurella! Goal for Brighton. Absolutely shit. Absolutely rubbish. Free Willy on a sun lounger. Like a whale on a beach. This defence is washed up. This team is washed up. Cucurella, I told you. He's had a great game. 2-0 to Brighton. Good night, Vienna, but we're in Brighton. I tell you what. He's crying. He's crying. We're not that good. Don't cry about it, mate. Norwich score past us. We're not that good. I mean, just a catalogue of errors here. McTominay doesn't do anything on the cross. Delo's out of position. And nobody's marking Cucurella. Which, to be honest with you, who's meant to be marking Cucurella? Got no idea. I don't even know. At least Alanga would have been marking Cucurella. Like, what's Cavani's job then? Is he not meant to be playing there? Okay, now. Just unbelievable. 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 How bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's on the download now. Worst ever Premier League. Total on the download. Did I say I don't think Brighton have got 2 or 3 goals in them? 3 or 4 goals in them. This is annihilation at the moment. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know what, though? We don't even deserve 6th, do we? We deserve to finish as low as possible. You could end up being a battering, what do you reckon, says B? That's what I mean. I said at half time, I can't see this Brighton team scoring 3 or 4 goals. But it's crap. Absolutely crap. Joggers FC says Druv. Mark, do you think this season would have been worse with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Oh, shut up, Sarab. I'm bored of this. This season is because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, I'm going to ban that word. It's his fault we're in this position. He didn't buy a midfielder. He kept half of the team here and made it toxic. And he was getting battered by 4 goals against Watford. Jog on and go back to sleep. Would it be better with Ollie? He fucking caused the problem. Wake up and smell the coffee, for God's sake. We're in this position because he didn't buy a midfielder in the summer because he's a bloody useless coach. McTominay couldn't track back the Ant King nicking the picnic basket, says Jamesy. Brighton don't win at home, by the way, says Jack. Well, they do when United come into town. Joke FC have had enough, says Sith. Come on, Mata. Put the cross in. Oh. McTominay's grandfather is friends with Fergie, says RS Reviews. I thought it was his grandfather. Oh, here we go. Not Welbeck. Complete the misery. A Danny Welbeck goal. Remember, Ollie wanted 8 players out first season, says John Bravo. Oh, that's a foul. That's got to be a yellow card. No, it's a Brighton player. You can't book him. When Sir Alex Ferguson left, he was out of options. The team was already aging and in shreds. He left at exactly the right time. Why, says Gertrude. What was the halftime sub, says Slippy? So Alanga for Cavani and Fred for Matic, and we conceded within the first 5 minutes with Cucurella. We took Alanga off because he was dominated by Cucurella. We take Alanga off and leave Cucurella free, basically. Nobody's even marking Cucurella now. How many fouls are Brighton going to do and you're not going to book him? This referee's an idiot. Put the cross in, Delo. Put the bloody cross in. Cavani's telling you. Put the cross in. Look at him. Cavani's saying, whip the cross in. You absolute pillock. Drub, thanks for becoming a member. This team is so toxic. Whatever happened to Phelan being tasked with United in the dressing room, says Patricio. Scoring against United means more to the opposition than players for United does for the United players, says Keith D. I mean, he's got all the time in the world to whip a cross in. Cavani and Ronaldo are in the right position and he passes it infield. It's just deluded. Absolutely deluded. Corner to United. Edge of the box, Fred. Whip it, Bruno. Oh, what the fucking hell was that? What was that? 2 times we could have put a cross in and we're playing stupid reverse passes. And what's that from Delo? Why am I getting angry about an end-of-season game against Brighton? Explain that to me. Why am I getting angry? Because they're making me angry. They're bloody idiots. Delo has the opportunity to put a cross in. Cavani and Ronaldo in the box. He passes it inside. Bruno has the opportunity to whip a cross in. He tries a reverse pass to Mr. Invisible. Bloody idiots. When we get to the 70th minute and another team's crowd cheer as their team passes the ball around us, I'm going for a pint, says Nick P. Mark, I'm close to being numb with this club. If I get mad, the Glazers win. I don't care if the Glazers win, says Sumi. Okay. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I mean, I really hoped for something a little bit different tonight, to be honest. Look how high Lindelof's playing up the pitch there. I do like the high line, but unfortunately, we do leave Varane and Lindelof on their own to just play the high line, and I do like that. We've just not been able to get hold of the midfield. They've been dominated. Come on, Delo, you're going to get that. Mata! Oh, straight at the keeper. Is Manchester United lowest tally is on Ollie or Ranitz's ad? It's on the players, really. So United's lowest ever Premier League total is 64 points. We're on 58. And we've only got a game and a half left. So we need 3 goals to be in with a chance. Delo, McTominay and Telles should be nowhere near this team. So poor in every aspect of the game, says Gergo. Well, we do need a fullback. Well done, Lindelof. For the first time, I turned off a United game. So done with this club, says Ethan. I agree 100% with getting rid of Ollie, but maybe we should have kept Carrick on because we were on an unbeaten run. Thanks, Mo. It's all about opinion. For the first... So, yeah, okay. McTominay's terrible. He's been playing hide and seek, says Morgan. Donny would have been a good sub in this game, says Stephen Atherton. This sums up the season. Poor everywhere. Poor performances all around. We need a realistically good rebuild for next season, says Mohammed. 3-0. Oh, my Christ. Oh my Christ. I mean, hey, get out! Get out! Get your coats! Get your shoes! Get in your car and piss off on holiday. Absolute jokers. 3-0 to Brighton. Brighton are shit at home, but don't worry. United are rolling into town. Ronaldo's there going like that. I'm going like that as well. Absolute shit. Get out. Get out. Bloody joke. Who's marking Cucurella? What was the substitution at half time? I've got to call it out. Like, it's just a shambles, an absolute shitty shambles. Alanga was being pocketed by Cucurella, but at least he was running with him. We've made a substitution at half time and given Cucurella the freedom, and they've scored 2 goals from it. I'm telling you now, if you know anything about tactics, we've given Cucurella, who was their best player in the first half, freedom in the second half. That was the tactic. Take Alanga off, but don't keep anyone on Cucurella. He scored a goal and had a massive part in their third goal. Absolute shit tactics, shit team, jokers. Absolute joke. Ronaldo ain't going to stay here, is he? He just can't believe it. He cannot believe it. I'm just stunned. I'm gonna put it on a tweet. It's gonna be 4. It is. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm not even joking. I can't believe it. It's 4-0. It's 4-0, and there's only been an hour. There's only been an hour. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely. I can't believe what I'm looking at here. 59 minutes, 4-0 to Brighton. How is Welbeck onside? Delo's had a bloody nightmare there. He's played him onside, and then he's cleared it off the line into a Brighton player. Well, it will be a handball. It will be a handball. Surely it'll be a handball. Yeah, it's going to be a handball, but it's very fortunate. Delo should have been playing him offside on the first one. Hope Ten Hag reviews this season's games and gets rid of a lot of them, says Brian. Good luck, Ten Hag, says Ricky. Their goalkeeper distribution that everyone has been talking about is in display, says Humphrey. I bet they'll give this goal. I think they're going to give it, because I don't think they can find conclusively that it handles. Look at Delo's line here. He's playing them all onside as well. It's clearly a handball. He's given it. He's given the goal. Why? I personally think that is a handball, but what's the point? What's the point? There's no point. I'm not arguing about 3 or 4-0. Like, and you know what? I actually think tactically, second half, you've got to put it on Rangnick. I do. Dear me. I hate myself. I hate myself for saying at half time, there's no way that this Brighton side's got 3 or 4 goals in it. My jinx powers have got levels. Cavani! Great save by the keeper. I mean, it's just nothing's going our way here. He should have scored. It's a great save by the keeper. 4-0. We either put a side out that doesn't care enough to win or a side that flat out isn't good enough. Take your pick, Mark, says Jacob. Mark, not meaning to take a dig at you, but is it time to change the narrative? Then Maguire, shut up, self. I mean, Maguire doesn't make any difference today, mate. It's still 4-0. I mean, you might just want to watch football a little bit. I can't be dealing with one player on the bench who's been dropped would change the whole thing. Now, I'm sure Maguire inside is probably grinning from ear to ear because he thinks, oh, yeah, I'd make a big difference. You look back at the goals. None of them are apart from the third goal. None of them are really on the centre backs. It's the first goal's on the midfield. The second goal is because we haven't got anybody on Cucurella. The third goal, I think you can put on the centre backs, and the fourth goal's on Delo. So I don't think Maguire makes a big difference, to be honest. The midfield is the problem. We've just been dominated. What Delo is trying to do, I won't be able to understand. He's not good enough for United, says Mowat. I'm wanting this to end. I'd rather no, not reading that, Hirschik. We either you've done that. What Delo? Mark, not meaning not doing okay. Didn't touch hand, left pec, chest, and nothing you could do about it, says Robinson. I'm not arguing about it, Robinson. Do you really think at 4-0 to Brighton, I'm going to start arguing about what looked like a handball? What difference does it make? We'd still be 3-0 down. This team is bad for mental health. I can't keep watching this, says Kish. Mark, Eric needs 4 or 5 players this summer minimum, or he's screwed, says Andy and Bruno. You said yourself that you want Delo playing, Mark, but he plays team onside constantly. Big homie, I'd rather Delo than Wan-Bissaka, but I didn't, we definitely need a right back. I've got to say, I'm not surprised. This just goes to show how trash our season was, says Omar. Mark, is it time to admit that Ollie was a deep... No, shut up. I'm not talking about that. United have finished. They've been for 9 years, says R. And it's the pink shirt, Mark, says Per. This is going to be 5. It's going to be 5-0. Is it the post? This is embarrassing. RTB, thank you very much. And hate to say it, but we're playing players on the way out. You know what, Ricky D? Get Maguire on. Get Maguire on and go to a back 5 because they're going to score about 8 goals. We're going to get beat about 6, 7, 8-0. Like, it's embarrassing. The midfield is dead. Nobody's tracking back. You've just got to go for a back 5 here. This is on Rangnick anyway. This is on Rangnick for me, second half. I think he's absolutely fucked up tactically. Cucurella was the best player on the pitch for Brighton in the first half, and Elanga was at least with him. Second half, we take Elanga off. Cavani's playing up front. Nobody on their best player. He's had the freedom. 2 goals have come from that side. And taking Matic off for McTominay, who is pure shite, was stupid as well. Absolutely stupid. And the McTominay obsession's got to stop. Like, he is an absolute passenger. An absolute passenger. But he's not the only one. I mean, Delo's been dreadful as well. You'd have to ask questions about whether Fred's even fit. I mean, Matic has played more passes than McTominay, and he came off at half time. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolute crazy. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. Corner. Could it be like Delo and McTominay were instructed to double up against Cucurella and Trossard? Somebody isn't doing their job, Gorov. It's so bad it's entertaining, says Ozzy. I feel I didn't expect this tonight. I mean, I knew it'd be a good game. I knew Brighton were a good side. I was looking forward to it, but Brighton have been good and we've been abysmal. I've got nothing but praise for Brighton. They've absolutely dominated us. And Bruno with a good shot. Keepers playing well for them. I don't know why I watch anymore, to be honest. Just end the season already, says Ticker. Poor decision by Rangnick, but can't let the players off with this. Need to have the brains to track a runner, says Bradley. Everyone in this club needs to go from top to bottom, says Oliver Jones. Mark, not a United fan. In fact, I hate them. However, starting to feel sorry for the fans, says Big. And Mark, it's not just on him, but Varane is being horrible. We may have a bigger problem with centre-backs than just Maguire, says Iraq. And I was wondering where United was last week. Strange to win a game. Thankful they're back to normal, says Daniel. The reality is, I don't know whether we can get the league table up at some point, but I was just looking at it there. We're in trouble. We're in big, big trouble. We've got 58 points, and it's still possible for Wolves and West Ham to go past us. And we've only got one. We've only got one game left. Wolves and West Ham have got 3 left. So the door is ajar. And also our goal difference has just taken a hammering. So yeah, look at that league table there. 58 points for us. West Ham have still got 2 games. West Ham have got 2 games in hand on us, and they've got a better goal difference. So they can easily leapfrog us and put us in the Conference League, which is a nightmare. I mean, it's not great being in the Europa League, but it's a bloody nightmare being in that. Marang says, just pain. We should sue all the United players. They're disgracing our club, says Dre. Ten Hag probably thinking if he really wants to take over this garbage. Look, Varane, look, we're in the midst of a game of football here. And I am passionately pissed off. But I'm going to tell you right here and right now, and I've been saying it for bloody years, McTominay ain't a Man United player. He just is not a Manchester United player. And for some reason, I keep getting into this argument with people telling me, Mourinho liked him, Ollie liked him, Carrick liked him, Sir Alex likes him, Rangnick likes him. So fucking what? They might all like Marmite. I wouldn't shit on Marmite. Maguire is coming on. I think that's a common sense thing to go to a back 5. I do. Yeah, back 5. Mata comes off. Yeah. Go to a back 5 because we're getting hammered. It's damage limitation. Yeah, McTominay's crap. Just seen Adam on the TV again. At least, well, I'm glad. Safe and well. At least we know Adam's okay. I thought it'd be down that pier. Brighton's got a big pier, and at the end of it's the sea. Get some lifeguards on there tonight. Lingard's brother cursed us Europa Conference next, says Ruddy. Yeah, he did say we're in the Conference League, didn't he? Oh, but yeah, look, McTominay's crap. He's absolutely crap. Is he 25 or 26 this year? He ain't no holding midfielder. I mean, Basuma's just took the piss out of him. And Casido. Hi, Mark. I'd like to know your opinion on what we fans can realistically do to get rid of the Glazers. Thank you. Well, Sage, look, the Glazer thing, my frustration with the Glazer out movement is that we should have been doing this when we were winning leagues. We should have been doing it when we were winning Champions Leagues. It always seems to be that we get more momentum of Glazers out when we're performing badly on the pitch. And I just think that, you know, is that a bit of a get out of jail card for the players? Like, some of these players are on 300-400 grand a week. We paid tens of millions of pounds for these players. It's not like we're playing a load of youth players. Good save. Their keeper's been fantastic. Cavani! He's offside. I think it would have been an assist for Maguire. Good header, good save. Oh, yeah, miles off. Absolutely miles off. Him and Ronaldo. Player ratings, you can do that for the match reaction. I am doing Liverpool versus Spurs on That's Football as well, for my sins. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. I'm sure you're watching just to watch my misery. The whole team is crap. It's good that we don't qualify for any European competition, but Azam, we're going to qualify for European competition. I don't know what magic you're going to Shazam from Azam. I don't know what you're going to magic you're going to produce, but we will be in Europe. Probably in the Conference League. Barry says, I feel bad for players like Delo and Alanga, Rashford, all the young lads who never had a proper coach, says Barry. The whole team is crap. That's Azam as well. At this point, it's highlighted just how bad we are. And if we didn't have Ronaldo or De Gea, we would be where Everton are. Hopefully, we don't qualify for Europe so we can rebuild, says Darren. Yeah, I think we will be in Europe, mate. The absolute state, 5 at the back to limit the loss against Brighton, says Johan. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, we had a relatively decent performance on Monday night, and we're back doing player ratings where people are going to be getting 3s and 4s again. But look, yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I really just don't even know where to start. It's the low coming down the right-hand side. Shit cross. Mark, I've been watching United for years, and for the first time I almost cried watching the state of our club. How are you able to hold strong, says Tarang. It's horrible. It is horrible. They best not get clapped off by the fans at the end, says Hugh. Every time I think that we can't get any lower, this team shows no levels of crap, says Matteo. Shows how little social media fans know. If they ever thought Maguire was the problem in that team, he saved them from embarrassment. Oh, shut up, Martin. You're talking out your arse. How many of you had to drink? Just bought your exact chair, also in black. Any good? Says the Platinum Lounge. Yes, it is. It is good. All right, so they've not sorted it then. How many lower Premier League teams do we have to lose to before we realise every single player, bar Ronaldo and De Gea, is a new low, says Sinead. You know, there's a good point there from Sinead as well, that even Sneak wouldn't help, says Marang. There's a good point there from Sinead, and it needs hammering home, because we'll talk about Rangnick's tactics. We can talk about, you know, McTominay and Delo, and Alanga was dominated, and there's been a lot of poor performances in the team again today. But ultimately, too many times this season, this team has conceded 4 goals. And now we've done it again at the end of the season. And it just shows you that there's no Rashford, there's no Maguire for most of the game. So all these villains that people have, there's more than one. It's a squad problem. They are getting hammered. The most expensive squad, arguably in the league, best paid squad in the league, I would say, are getting beat 4-0 by Brighton. 4 goals against Watford. It's not a one-off. Look, Sir Alex Ferguson, every now and again, we got hammered. I remember in the grey kit against Southampton. So it can happen every now and again. You can have a bad day at the office. But there has to be serious question marks yet again about the mentality and chemistry in that squad. They're a bunch of bottlers. We come full circle, back 5 plus McFred. This is depressing, says Nickette. We have to back the new manager and remember this game. The rebuild would take time, says Benty. United need someone like Bendia for Villa or Elise for Palace, a Terrier-like player who, yes, is creative, but mainly keeps going, says Lord. Every time we think we've hit a low, it can't get worse. Our club manages to pile even more on us, says Anurag. We should just sell the whole team, says Ashley. I wish we could, mate. I really do. Literally taking everything to stick with this club, says Samuel. Well, I think there's many people that feel like me. The whole point of supporting your club is that it's your club and you love it no matter what. I love the club. I love the badge. I love everything about what that club is and why I love it. I wouldn't turn my back on the club because I love it. But, it's hard to love these players. I agree. Shows you what a squad of players can achieve when you have togetherness and professionalism, says Matthew Paul. I support this team because of my granddad like you, Mark. I'm feeling the pain this season, says Kyle. This is on the manager. Tired of you hyping up Rangnick, says Chaos. Okay. 20% of Norwich away goals and 30% of Brighton home goals have been scored against United, says Shakir. Not a one could be bothered deliver a proper foul as Brighton take the piss out of them, says Corey Lineker. I mean, he's just pants, McTominay. Look at him. He's just took 6 touches to pass the pass he should have played with his first. I'm not even mad with McTominay. I'm mad with the managers who keep picking him. How shit is our midfield if we have to keep picking him? He's not even a holding midfielder. That's the thing. He's out of position. We just need full time here. I'm going to get the player ratings up so you can start voting on those. Not watching any more of this travesty, says Mikhail. I tell you, I'm getting tired of unloading on these players. Tired of it. United got a free kick here. It's knocking it about. Brighton now. Easy work for them. The player ratings is open on unitedstand.com. I'm just going to drop the link in the chat for you. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll go through that in the match reaction straight after this. But I mean, I don't really want to know what Ralph Rangnick says after the game. I don't really want to know what the players have got to say after the game. Rashford's had a shit season. Harry Maguire's had a shit season. They're nothing to do with why we've lost 4-0. It just runs through the entire team like diarrhea. They're all shit. Diarrhea, the word makes me feel sick. Diarrhea FC. That's what United are. And that word really does make me want to throw up and hurl. And that's how I feel about United. They make me want to hurl. I mean, how's Bruno Fernandes a £250,000 a week player as well? We gave him a contract. He's turned into Bruno Mars. $4-0. 4-0, Ada. 4-0. Get your coat. 4-0. Brighton are third from bottom on their home form as well. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Here's Ronaldo. I tell you what, though. I mean, you look at Ronaldo when the 4th goal went in, shaking his head. I just don't know whether he's got the appetite. I really hope Ten Hag can have a big chat with him and make him feel galvanised, because you can just tell he shouldn't be playing for a club like this. Ronaldo is still an elite footballer. This football club is not elite. He doesn't suit it. And I just wonder whether we can get him to stay at the club. I think that's Ten Hag's biggest challenge is to keep Ronaldo at the club, because it's going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. How do you keep somebody who's... Oh, now Morpay's on. Well, at least we won't be saying Morpay's won it at the end. It's been won for a long time. And I'm not disrespecting Brighton in any way, by the way. They went to the Emirates and won a few weeks ago. They went to Spurs and won a few weeks ago. So I'm not disrespecting them in that sense. They're a capable team, but we shouldn't be getting beaten 4-0. That shouldn't be happening. Under no circumstances should that be happening. We've not really created anything either, have we? Elliot says, do you think United should look to sign... I don't know who that is, Elliot. This is not a team, it's a squad full of bad playing, selfish individuals, says Ronnie. Is that actually probably from Ronaldo? Is Delow. I mean, Delow's crossing has been abysmal as well. That was something that we always thought he was quite good at. I mean, Delow's had a shocking game. I don't think any... Look, I don't personally think Lindelof and Varane have been the worst players on the pitch, but if you concede 4 goals, even De Gea, I mean, I don't think De Gea could have done anything on any of the goals, and it's sad. But he's not made any saves either, has he? So I don't think you can give any of the back 5 a high score. You can't give the midfield a high score. Ronaldo has to have a low score, even though he's done nothing. So, I mean, I feel sorry for Ronaldo, because strikers thrive on service, and the service has been abysmal. We are where we are. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, it's going to be a massive summer on the United stand. One way or another, we're going to be very busy, hopefully selling loads of players and kicking them out the club. But certainly we need to buy a fair few players. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner might be the only positive energy there is around the football club this summer. We've still got to play Crystal Palace in a couple of weeks. And I think by the final day, we might find ourselves in a position where we need a result against Palace just to get Europa League football. We have opened that door up massively now. Look at that league table. Look at the games in hand. West Ham have got 2 games in hand. Wolves have got 2 games in hand. I think Palace will beat us last game of the season. So if Wolves win their last 3, they're above us. If West Ham win their last... Oh, fucking hell, I thought it was going to be 5. Welbeck with the shot. That would just be the ultimate humiliation if Welbeck scores. You know what? I'll be absolutely honest. Relegation, this team, where did we get the points? Because we are really bad. I'm amazed we've got 58 points. I know it's going to be the worst ever Premier League total, but I'm amazed. I'm amazed. We used to say who from our squad would make Liverpool or City squad, who from our squad would make Brighton, maybe De Gea and Ronaldo. No, I think the Brighton goalkeeper's decent, to be honest. I don't think Brighton would want to swap De Gea for Sanchez, to be honest with you. I don't. And I like De Gea, but I don't think they would swap their goalkeeper for De Gea. The opposition always look fitter than us, have more desire and hunger. We are full of soft, overpaid, overhyped bottlers, says Ice. Brighton pushing for another goal here. Was that McTominay with a foul? I mean, I tell you what, this referee must be McTominay's cousin. McTominay, how many fouls has he given up? He's not been booked. It's a madness. It's a madness. The opposition always do look fitter, Ice, Wayne, they do. How is McTominay still on the pitch? He makes so many mistakes defensively and he somehow didn't come off at half-time. We shouldn't have subbed off Matic. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have made any big difference, goalkeeper, but, you know, Rangnick doesn't come out. You don't get beat 4-0 and be able to come out and say the players just didn't try. Like, Rangnick has to take some responsibility. His substitutions at half-time were shit, and they were the wrong subs. Bunch of old age pensioners, sad to see, says Derek South. Mark, realistically, how many of these players will we see starting next season? I still think we'll see a lot of them here, Jacob. I think that's the problem with the club. We will still see a lot of them still at the football club. Yeah, I've got no doubt about it. Deja's just made a save there. That's probably his first save of the game, really. Mark, the only way the season could get any worse is you saying you're leaving the United stand, says Tony Cox. Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. It's not my fault. I don't think there are... Good save by De Gea there. I don't think there are correct subs on the bench, says Liam. McTominay has managed to trick some people into thinking that committing fouls is the same thing as passion, says Lee. I personally wouldn't give McTominay a 3. I think he's been abysmal. I thought he was absolutely abysmal against Chelsea. Has he given a penalty now? I think he's just given a penalty. No, what's he doing? No, he's giving a corner again. Most of the team needs to be replaced from what we have seen. I would only keep Ronaldo, De Gea, Varane, Dalot, Elanga and Sancho. Fred is a squad player. From Marchelino. Cross comes in, headed away. No, it's not headed away. De Gea's there. Just to give you an update, I am doing a Liverpool versus Spurs watch-along, and I'm very conscious that it kicks off in just under half an hour. So straight after this, I'm going on to the match reaction, player ratings, and then straight after that, I'm going into the Liverpool-Spurs game. And, I'm quite looking forward to that, actually. Chelsea and Man United still think they are in the glory days of the early 2000s with Fergie and Josie, says Landon. How long is he going to add on? Man of the match, Casido. How ironic. Rangnick wearing a pink sweater. Don't tell me that, Keith. It's the pink jumper. It's the pink jumper. Don't wear pink. If you're a United player, don't wear pink boots, pink pants, pink jumpers, pink ties, pink bloody armbands. Don't wear it. They should all be wearing armbands, by the way. Stop them sinking in the shit that they swim through all season. Mark, is it true you're going to go, you're doing Ronaldo at Real Madrid and run a Real Madrid stand next season, says Lucas. Imagine if I could get a transfer. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Why need to give a free kick then on the edge of the box? It's not really an advantage to not have a free kick. Refs at twat. Club too scared to get rid of too many players at once. The ones that hang on show glimpses and stay in the squad, wasting time finding form, says Dan Skidmore. This team is more arrogant than Lawrence McKenna, says Viva. I like Lawrence. If United loses to Crystal Palace, it's possible they're not going to play internationals, says Matthias. I think you mean European football. I've got a pink shirt. I wouldn't wear it on a watch-along. Pink and United just do not do well together. I don't know how long he's adding on because they haven't bothered to tell us. If anyone knows how many minutes he's adding on, reset and rebuild. Can't wait for next season, says Azam. Well, we're probably going to get an exciting end of the season against Crystal Palace. We've got one game to go, 2 weeks tomorrow. We're probably going to have quite an exciting end to the season because we're going to need something against Palace, or I think we're going to be in the Conference League, and we won't be able to finish 8th. It's impossible for us to finish 8th because I don't think Wolves and West Ham will go past us. But I do think one of them will go past us, which means we're going to need to beat Palace to get Europa League over Conference League. And I don't want the Europa League. There's the final whistle. We buy players and they become terrible. We don't need to buy. We need to develop the young players and find under-the-radar bargains and rebuilds. Look, we haven't got long before the Liverpool game starts. So I want to get over onto the match reaction straight away and get into it. Player ratings, link in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Loads to talk about this. And I'll see you over there in a moment. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner.